All right, what is going on, guys? How are you doing today? Welcome. We got a couple of people hanging out already. Great to see a lot of you. Pool was the first one in chat. Grumpa, Kai, Princess, Wayne, Devin, James, Princess a second time, and Pinspired. What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. We've had a really busy week in the terms in the world of bowling. It's been crazy. We had a urethane rules announcement last week. We had a couple bowling balls get announced yesterday. Like, we've had the PBA come out with their urethane rules, or I guess technically lack thereof to a certain degree, because they just said, we're doing the same thing that we did. But we've had a lot of news in the bowling world, so we're going to cover it. We're going to talk about those 4 new Brunswick balls and which ones you should really care about and which ones you really don't have to worry about at the end of the day. But let's get it going. Remember, if you're new here, make sure to drop a subscription. Best way to help out the channel, best way to support. But otherwise, let's get into it. I do need to kick off the TikTok live quick. All right. TikTok should be kicking off. Good to go. All right, let's answer a couple questions. Remember, these videos, while always having a topic, are always focused on a Q&A. We try to answer every single question that you guys have bowling related. We try to be the #1 live stream to answer every and any question you guys have in the comments, whether it's elite knowledge, whether it's a beginner, anywhere in between, whether it's energy drink related, whatever it may be. That is our goal over here. So we're going to try to do what we can. If we miss your comment, remember, make sure to retype it just a couple of minutes later. I probably just missed it, or I'm severely behind. Usually I get very, very behind because I like to talk a lot about random things that are going on. So we usually have that going on. But let's see what's going on. Pool said, love these streams, best part of my Thursday morning. Thank you so much, Pool. Really appreciate jumping over on the other side of the world. Really means a ton that you're able to jump on. A lot of you guys over not in the USA, like, huge thank you to you guys for jumping in at very, very wonky times for a lot of you. But Grumpa, what's going on, Grumpa? Kai, what is up? How am I doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing? We've got Princess. Can't wait to get my hands on that new Widow. It was kind of expected when I saw a couple leaks. I think it was Monday that a couple pro shops were already posting pictures of the new Widow. Like, my first thought exactly was, well, this is gonna sell like hotcakes. Like, this is going to sell so well, because bowling balls with spiders on them sell really, really well. They're usually top 5 bowling balls every year. I think the Mania is probably a top 3 ball right now, just sales wise. Like, we're not going to talk performance, just sales wise. So this one's going to do really well. It's kind of expected. A little bit surprising seeing that it's a tour level bowling ball. We didn't get the Effect Tour Pearl, but we instead got a shiny tour ball that goes right below the Effect Tour. I was able to talk to a couple guys at Brunswick, and it was really cool to be able to talk to them about or one guy at Brunswick who was able to talk a little bit about the ball, and that really was what they were aiming for. It's got that little bit of a higher RG, so it's going to hook a little bit later, has that hybrid cover stock to it instead of that solid that's on the Effect and the Envy Tour and the Obsession Tour. So a little bit of a different take on it that they're hoping is a little more useful than those Pearl versions of like the Effect Tour, Envy Tour, or the Obsession Tour. Effect Tour Pearl technically doesn't exist, but that's really what it seems like they're going for. And being in that really good price point is awesome to see. That's a very, very good sign. Being around that 170 range is fantastic at the end of the day. So we always like to see cheaper bowling balls, no matter what, from wherever it may be. It's always a good thing to have those slightly cheaper bowling balls. Wayne, what's going on? Pineapple direct hit in the house. Oh boy, no. No, the pineapples is still going on. Darren is still getting pineapples thrown in his comment section all the time. The dislike ratio has really dropped for him. It was really bad for like 10 videos. He was getting more dislikes than likes, but now it's calmed down just a little. Inspired greetings. What is going on? Princess with the rude comment. No, direct hit is definitely the GOAT ball. It is always interesting to see how many people truly love that direct hit. Like, it does work for a subset of people. It is really good in certain situations for what they need. I just think it's way too niche and mismarketed of a bowling ball. It was not advertised at what it actually was, which was unfortunate. Devin, should I buy the new RST Hyperdrive? I have an Equinox, Identity, Origin EX, IQ Tour, AI, Purple Hammer, Spare Ball. Since you have the Equinox and the Identity, no, you definitely do not need the Hyperdrive, the new Hyperdrive Pearl. All 3 of those bowling balls are just that little bit too close together, at the end of the day. All right, but let's catch up over here. Matthew, the direct hit was so good they had to ban it. I was so surprised that that was included, but when they announced like what was being why they were banning those bowling balls, it makes perfect sense. That ball is accidentally in the same park as urethane. Like, I don't think it was on purpose that they made it a slow oil absorbing like high performance ball by any means. I think it was just a complete oopsie by Radical. They're just like, hey, bigger core in a plastic ball, because they already had the spy. So now they're like, let's basically just make a super spy to a certain degree. So they just put bigger core, still that wannabe plastic cover, but this kind of proves that it's basically a plastic cover because the ball doesn't absorb oil, which I can confirm after throwing it so much, because it doesn't. It just, oil stays on that thing forever and it demolishes your chamois when you wipe it off. It's crazy. Absolutely wild. Oh, so crazy. Jack, what is going on? Pool, are vacuum grips needed for a one-hander or nah? Yeah, they can definitely be useful. I mean, it's really personal preference. I tried vacuums. I didn't like them. A few other guys tried, a few other guys that I know are one-handers who love vacuum. I know a couple two-handers who love vacuum. So it really just kind of depends on, really just kind of depends. Nerdy Bowler hits a really good point that I want to get into just a little bit today. Is I'm really sick of the fluff of every new ball release, or every new release is the new league night ball. Yeah, I noticed it. I was actually sitting in bed and was scrolling through. I think it was yesterday, last night, and it was I wanna make a video at some point, just kind of talking to the bowling community of why did we devolve into a spot where every new release you don't get any information on. You just get phrases like, this is the best ball ever. I mean, if I went through, I mean, let's just do a test of this. And I get why this happened, right? Let's just look up Hammer Black Widow Tour V1. Like, let's just look it up. We have first ever. We have a fresh take on a legend. Unbelievable. We have insane backend, which was weird by Packy. Like, that was an odd one. A legend throwing a legend line ball. We have the modified the core I haven't designed. Is it even better? The thummies are better than they have been in the past. Just a couple of the other like actual like posts of it are the amount of times I've seen, is this the best ball of the year for all 4 Brunswick releases, was sky high. And it's, I don't know why we've gotten to a point like that where we don't present information. We present just, this is the greatest thing ever. So what I advise everybody here, you guys are all very educated bowlers because you're watching a bowling live stream right now. So just be careful. Be careful of all the hype. Be careful of all of that. Try to get some information before you go and purchase a bowling ball. Gandhi, what's going on? Due to busy schedule, I cannot attend. Oh, do not worry, Gandhi. It's all good. Kenny, what's up? Ken, what's up? Grump, I haven't thrown a Widow, but really thinking about the Tour V1 and the Mania. With the Tour V1, play it well as with the Effect Tour. Yes, I think it really does. I think Effect Tour into Widow Tour is going to be a really good option, a good 1-2. Now, I have noticed the problem with the Effect Tour when you're on a sport condition is it's really good for a little bit, and then it goes to really bad really quickly. The amount of games where I'm like strike, 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 and then flat hit, 7-10, make a move, 2-10 is very high with that ball. Like, with a higher differential ball, you don't get that as much. That's the one issue, but I think on the left side, it might be really good. Let's see. One man, one drone. What's going on? Pool. I don't have a Widow, but that V1 is tempting. Would it go all right with a Hysteria and a Stealth mode? It'll be a ball down from the Stealth mode and a ball down from the Hysteria. I see it more as a medium and sharp ball, is my guess. That's really where I'm seeing that ball's gonna fit well. Jack, I still find it odd they polished the special effect. Yeah, I kind of said it in my review, or in my preview of it, was like, they kind of psyched us out with the special effect because everybody saw, ooh, a solid effect is coming. Everybody at the time needed a solid effect. They're like, we love the Pearl, we love the Effect Tour, give us a big, strong, solid with the same core, because the Effect Tour doesn't have the same core at the end of the day. It's not the same shape. It's just kind of using the name to a certain degree is what happens with those a lot. And then they bring out the special effects, like, oh, yes, we got it. Oh, it's basically just like the regular, but a little smoother and a shiny solid instead. That's weird. So that was a little odd. Derek Dial, what's going on? You have a Mania, 3D Assault, Ion Pro, and Ion Pro Solid. No, I do not think you need that Tour V1 if you have an Ion Pro or an Ion Pro Solid. Especially Ion Pro Solid, those balls are way too close together is what it seems like right now, that you do not need both. You only need one or the other. So don't get talked into buying both, because then you're going to have two balls that do one thing. And that's what we want to avoid at this point. Amazing Robin, what's going on? First night of League made me realize that the Chill Pearl are soulmates. Can't wait to try the OG Mantra. If you like the Chill Pearl, you might like the Mantra, because not many people like the Mantra, which is surprising why they made a solid version. I love the colorway on it. I hope it does well. It's just odd. That's been a common thing with the Brunswick brand lately, and I've noticed it like for the last 8-ish months is they don't really make remakes off of balls that are still out for any of the non-hammer companies. They usually make not remakes, I should say variations of cores that are out and balls that are out. They usually do it on discontinued stuff, which is interesting, like Mantra, for example. Or, I mean, the one series, the one Reverb is still out, so that one's fair. Hater Pearl was a good option, because like the Hater was already gone, and then boom, here's a Hater Pearl. Ivory Rhino Pro was here after the Teal Rhino was discontinued. So kind of interesting to prolong those cores and covers a little bit, because they only come out with the second version when the first version's gone, where Storm and Motive are the exact opposite. They're like, hey, this ball is doing well, make another one kind of like it before it gets discontinued. I think even the Raptor Rush, I think the Pearl one came out before the solid one was gone, and the solid one was not good. That thing sucked. Billy, what's going on? Kai, heading to League A. Good luck tonight, Kai. Good luck. Let me jump over to, oh, we got a lot of stuff going on the TikToks. Holy cow. Dr. Baker, what do you think about the Black Widow Tour V1? Do you think it's better than the Mania? They're completely different balls at the end of the day. So the big thing to remember with the Black Widow Tour, or yeah, the Black Widow Tour V1, the V1 is interesting. We got to talk about that in a little bit. Might be more of them coming, but it's not a Black Widow. Like it's not in the same ballpark. It shouldn't be compared to the Black Widows. It's its own ball entirely, where all those Black Widows are that super strong, super high differential in that strong category. This ball's in the medium category. This ball's right next to the Effect Tour, just like how the Effect Tour was nowhere near the OG Effect. That's where this Black Widow is. So it is a variation of the core. They did just manipulate the Black Widow core, but that manipulation of the core with a new cover makes it an entirely different ball. So you could have all of the Black Widows in the same bag with no problem, because they're nothing remotely similar. So I don't know if it'll be better. It'll be different though. I'm curious to see if it gets use, because we've seen in the past that like the Envy Tour Pearl, the Obsession Tour Pearl, we're kind of more on the meh side. The people weren't as big of fans. So I'll be curious if this one gets a little bit more love. I know pre-sales are going to be through the roof, but I'll be curious. Triple X 676 this week with Evoke Hysterian EJ. Hey, good, congrats, man. That's awesome. That is really cool to hear. Nerdy, it really puts me off from buying them. That's kind of how I got to bowling before I started the social media stuff, is whenever I saw whether it be a content creator or a pro just with no information kind of be like, this ball's the best, and then they show like one strike, it automatically turned me off of that bowling ball. It was a reason that I stayed away from Brunswick stuff for a little while, because they didn't really have good information coming out of the plant for a while, because they just had like only the professionals throwing it, and there really weren't many pros that were making really in-depth ball reviews at the time, especially on the Brunswick side. It was mainly just like, here's a clip of a guy throwing it on Instagram and look, it looks awesome. That kind of turned me off of them too, because at the end of the day, like, not sponsored. I don't have any, like, I'm just a bowler. I'm just like you guys at that part. Hey, thank you, Tim Love, for the heart, man. Appreciate it. Ralphie, we back. We are back. Adam, I'm lower speed. What's your opinion on the Ultimate Wrecker as a secondary to phase 2? I think lower speed, that's a good idea. I think it would work. John, and it's also really cheap right now. Unfortunately, something's going on with my Bowlers Mart link. I shot a message to them, and I got completely removed from the Bowlers Mart side, so I got to figure out what's going on there. So unfortunately, the link down below doesn't work. I should actually pull that out of my description. I'm going to do that just because for some reason it's broken. I don't know. I'm hoping nothing bad happened, but I have some messages out to see what's going on. So apologies for that in advance. John Romero, our local pro shop, Robert Smith, was in the video test throw for the new Black Widow. Oh, that's awesome. I haven't watched the Hammer video, but I'll have to do that. Colton, should I get a new urethane? The one I'm throwing is from 98. My dad gave it to me, so it won't hook. Yes, a new urethane will be nothing similar to those old urethanes. Now, Depends what you bowl, Colton. If you just bowl league, you probably don't need a urethane. You don't really need one if you bowl league that often. It's usually rare occasions or really wonky patterns. If you bowl sport shot, yes, absolutely. If you bowl junior events, I would recommend buying a 78 if you don't want to buy a second urethane, because at junior gold this year, you can only throw the harder urethanes. You can't throw the softer ones like the purple hammer. If you just bowl sport shot, buy the purple hammer. Easiest option. It's going to be the best option too. Tori, V1 looks great, but just bought a Rockstar. Not sure how it would fit in the bag. It'll be a ball down from the Rockstar, a very smooth ball down. It's not going to be like an Ember, which is super snappy down lane. It's going to be a lot smoother, but still get through the fronts a little bit. Gandhi, can the Hyperdrive Pearl and Attention Star fit in the same bag? In my opinion, no. Well, no with an asterisk. If you only have 6 bowling balls in your bag, no. If you have 8 bowling balls, yes, they can. They're only going to be a little bit of a shape difference apart. Not the most worth it in the world, but it still is an option. Nerdy Bowler, thank you for the heart me again, by the way. Kenny, as someone who has no luck with ASIMs, what ball do you think will change my luck? I would say one of the tour balls. I think one of the tour balls is going to be one you like a little better because it has that lower differential, and I'm guessing the regular or ASIMs hook way too much for you, so that'll be a little less hook. Devin, should I get the new RSC we hit? James, it's tough to get used to bowling on different nights versus the last few years due to all old center. Yeah, I did choose 694. Hey, there you go. Nice. That's awesome. At least you're getting used to the old center. That's great to see. That is awesome to see. Princess, tried bowling one hand half thumb today. Half thumb is interesting. I'd watch out for that because you can hurt your thumb pretty quickly if you do that. I forgot to go over to Twitch. They are getting pre-ads, so I got to make sure that they don't get any ads. Jalen, thank you for the follow over there. Let's see. I want the direct hit. I mean, it's a choice at times. It's an option. James, we hit you. Princess, we hit Wayne. If you locked yourself in the bowling alley, how long would it take you to throw a 300 with the direct hit? I honestly thought about starting a series over on any of the short form stuff of how long does it take me to, it's like, it's day one of me trying to shoot 300 with the torpedo direct hit, just to see. It would take a little bit. It would take a lot of games. I don't think it'd be crazy amount. If there's fresh oil, I think it'd be okay. Like, I have enough room with it on fresh, but the minute that there's carry down, that ball doesn't want to hook for me. It hits that, the core over flares, it hits that carry down, locks up and goes forward, and just the carry is terrible with it. Absolutely terrible with it. Brooke, weird day today. How are you doing? I'm doing good, Brooke. I'm doing good. Glad to have you here. Good to see you. Ryan O'Toole, I have a 3.0 Mania, Hammerhead, GB5 Pearl. What kind of ball should I get to complete this set? So you have a Mania, Hammerhead, GB5 Pearl. I mean, if you by 3.0, you mean the 3.0 solid, then I think you have a pretty good arsenal. You can go with something below like the Hammerhead. If it isn't, I just get a Black Widow 3.0. Ralphie got my first ever 300 last week. Hey, congratulations, Ralphie. That is awesome to hear, with an XL too. That is huge accomplishment. Congrats, Ralphie. We love to hear a lot of first 300s that are going on. Love to see that. Jack, Sport Shot League is adopting 78D. Oh, outgo my tanks. The tanks are still fine. The tanks are still legal as of now, right? Let me look up the USB-C ban guide, because I think they're still good. 99% positive they're fine. I know they're at, yeah, you're good. If you want, there is a guide online of all the low hardness bowling balls, so you should be good, Jack. Rob, happy Wednesday. As a 280-ish one-hand stroker, do you think the Widow Tour would be a good choice? It can be, absolutely. If you need something that gets a little further down lane but is still smooth, that could be a great choice. Grumpa, try to get some help from my high school, middle school from all the bowling companies. Storm and Motive stepped up. Crickets from Brunswick. Shame since I throw a lot of hammer. Guessing it went to Brunswick. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm glad Motive and Storm stepped up. That's really good to hear. Those guys are really good with the youth bowlers, so love to see that. Yeah, kind of a shame from Brunswick. Really hope they would also, but that's really good to hear. Alec, looking for a strong hybrid that fit between Onyx and Hysteria. Something that work on long sport shots, but also a good fresh ball house shot. Yeah, Origin would fit really well there. If you want to stick in the Motive camp, that'd be where a Crimson Jackal fits really well. I think those two are going to be your best bets. Buzzy, it's hard to tell what new balls are or should be goat balls. The problem is the big thing with bowling balls is the big thing with bowling balls is that we don't know if it's going to be really good until like 3 months after it comes out. Like a lot of the hype of originally is tough because the people who are getting the bowling balls are generally good bowlers, really good bowlers. And I will argue that a lot of the really good bowlers can make anything strike. I forgot who it was. I think it was a man, what was it? It was a Facebook comment that I got. It was something about shout out USBC for sharing my video, by the way, on Facebook. Huge thank you to those guys. It was something about like striking. You should be able to, or it's I don't remember what it was, but the comment came. Made a comment of, well, I mean, you can get videos and make a house ball look good and strike. It's very doable. So like, it's kind of tough because those guys can strike with anything. So that's a very specific subset of bowlers, so it's really good to see what all bowler types do with it. What do the rev dominant guys do? What do the speed dominant, the lefties, the two-handers, the one-handers? There's so many different types of bowlers. It's better to what really determines a GOAT ball is when all of those groups can agree, yeah, this thing's good. That's the phase 2. It had a ton of tour success, but then the amateurs adored it. And then the Venom Shock. Everybody who's ever owned a Venom Shock generally really, really likes it. IQ Tour, same way. Everybody loves their IQ Tours. Whereas, like, is that going to be the case for the Black Widow Mania V1? We don't know. We need a time machine to be able to tell. I hope so. I hope it's a great ball. I loved the Effect Tour. I think I would love this Black Widow Mania Tour. I might be purchasing one myself. I've bought a lot of bowling balls lately, so I shouldn't, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. RJ, my speed is 14.5 to 15, a 35 by 2 to 45 by 30, too slow. 35 by 2, 245 to 30. I don't know what that second number is. That 2245. Let me know what that is. Let's see. Let me shoot. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up. Sorry, I will not be mentioning any of the unfortunate situations that happened today. That will be not going on here. My goal for this stream, whatever happens, whatever world events are going on, is to get people away from anything that's going on, whether it be like their day sucked or world events suck, whatever it may be. Our goal, talk about bowling, not ignore that stuff, but like be able to get you to a space where you don't have to worry about talking about any of that stuff. So we're sticking to bowling tonight. So I know a couple people have mentioned the things going on, but I will not be mentioning any of those tonight. So just as an FYI to everybody here. Snowboarder from Hell, thank you for the follow. That is a wild username. And Fishin' Brothers, thank you so much. That is also a wild username. I love it. That's awesome. Buzzy, that's why I wait for you to talk to things. Yeah, that's my goal here is being able to talk about it. The big unfortunate piece is that I'm not able to actually throw the equipment, but I have a wide enough web of people that I can learn a lot about the equipment fairly quickly. And a little bit after it comes out. That's why we do our top 5 league balls. That's why we do our top Storm and Motive and Brunswick balls, is to really sift through the negative ones, because there's a lot of balls that like get all that hype early and then just kind of get ignored a couple weeks later. So that's what we kind of do here, which is something I'd love to see different from the bowling community, is that we talk about these bowling balls a little bit later. I think that message got to Luke Rosdell. He mentioned something in his Black Widow video about talking about it later on. Eric Howard, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Ryan Miller, medium sharp on a tour ball. Not smooth. Yeah, this one will probably be more medium sharp than like an Effect Tour Envy Tour. It's probably going to ride that line because it is still a very gradual shape, but it is that little bit quicker where it's more like a real-time kind of ball reaction is what I'm seeing it as. Yeah, Garrett, people is bowling, leave it at that. Yeah, we are talking all things just bowling today. Eric Howard, I'm new to bowling, but I set a 195 average at one point. Can I get into tournaments? Congratulations, first of all. Second of all, you can get into tournaments whenever you want. The hard thing is finding those tournaments. I recommend different social media platforms will sometimes have people who post about them. Your local bowling alley should have some flyers or more information, but also your pro shop is going to be a really good way to tell what tournaments are going on and where. Aaron, what's going on? Good to see you. I think we talked about this before, but I want to give you a little bit of an update. I got my Road Warrior polish. It's a little bit better. Hey, good to hear that. Really good to hear that that helped. Too Tall, what's going on? TBC in the house. Tall Bowlers Club. Let's go. Reese, would the new Tour V1 be a nice house shot ball? I'm hoping so because I didn't know the Effect Tour would be a good house shot ball, but it kind of is. So I'm hoping that Black Widow Mania is a similar one. Now, my big worry is that the V1 is going to have the same reaction as the Effect Tour when there's a little bit of carry down, and then it's just going to do the same reaction just a little later down lane, which wouldn't be as great because then you're just going to keep placking 10 pins, placking 7 pins, which wouldn't be fun, but we'll see. Don, I'm sending 30 V1s. You're drilling one. Fine, I guess I'll drill one. No, it would probably be. I'm really excited to. I think that ball will be good because if I adore the Effect Tour, I adore the Scorpion Low Flare. I love strong cover, weak core bowling balls, and that kind of fits. My bowling tomorrow night, I am not bowling tomorrow night. I will not. Well, kind of fortunately, I like having the night off. And I got to figure out a lot of social media stuff because I'll be gone this weekend. For everybody here, if anybody's bowling the Greater Iowa Bowling Association tournament in Waterloo, I will be down there bowling. So if you are there, I'm bowling C Squad. Hope to see you there. Come say hi if you see me. I'm going to be the abnormally tall dude. Yeah, I'll try to get there a couple hours early is my hope, but you know, we'll see how scheduling all works. Hey, Ken, what's going on over on TikTok? Good to see you. Tori, I know, guys, I know that play, the special effect runs it at 1 to 2K. Aaron, my problem is it's not as sharp as it should be. I'm debating, should I get the High Road 40, but I don't want to waste my money. If you already polished the road wear, that's about going to be as angular as it's going to get, so you might need a new ball, or try a different hand position, try to get it to be a little quicker down lane. Try to get it to be a little bit quicker. All right, Brooke, I saw you left a couple comments. I leave Friday morning at 6 a.m. for SYC. Hey, good luck this weekend. I love my Crown Victory and Mesmerize. That's awesome to hear. Good. Everything in the news shook my circle a week, or my circle a bunch, but looking forward to this weekend. Good. Good luck this weekend. Hope you do really well out there. If I'm able to watch, if they usually have really good live streams, so if I'm able to watch a live stream, I'll definitely be throwing it on. Brooke, can I still use my purple in the SYC? From what I'm aware of, yes, they have not changed any rules with the SYC. The big thing with the rules right now is everyone's kind of keeping what they are because we're already in the season, and that's kind of the tough part with the situation. So USBC has really doubled down on that piece. Even when I talked to them last week, they really doubled down on like, we made the ruling and we put out these rules because we're already in the middle of the season. This is the tough thing with bowling being a 12-month-a-year sport, is you don't have that off season to make these changes. Like for baseball, you have the winter where you make these changes and it affects a couple of traveling leagues, but that's about it. Where bowling, it's year round. So you make this change in June and then junior gold gets affected. You make this change in August, all of leagues get affected. You make the change in January, the entire PBA tour gets affected. So that's kind of why they're doing what they're doing. It's a step-by-step approach. So you're not going to see many changes probably until summer of next year. Just stick with the USBC rules. Most tournaments should really stay the same until probably end of 2026 is when you see more changes. Waited for everyone to pay their sanction fees. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, it was not a fun week last week, Don, trying to wait for everybody to fill out their lovely forms. It was love sanction week. It's great. Ripple effect using an offset assault and a bubblegum vibe as a speed dominant lefty. You think Tour V1 would be good? I think it's going to be a step in between those balls. So I think it could be actually. It could be a very good ball there. I think that could work really well. For a quick reminder for everybody, first of all, thank you guys, everyone who's hanging out right now. We got a lot of people hanging out on all of our platforms. Make sure to drop a subscription or a follow on whatever platform you're on, whatever the free one is. Then you can get notified whenever we have videos go live. My camera just got really bright for a second. That was weird. But otherwise, we are talking about all things with the 4 new Brunswick bowling balls. We had the maximum effect, which is a hybrid sanded effect. Odd to be a super strong ball. It's a hybrid, but I'm guessing the solid just hooked too early. A hybrid, super sanded, super strong effect. The Black Widow Tour V1, which is a new cover, new core, or a kind of new cover with carbon fiber this time. We have the One Ovation. It looks like a Zen color-wise. I'm not the biggest fan of the 1 series. Not many people are. They get discontinued pretty quickly, but the reverb, I think, picked up a little more than I expected, which is good. That ball was pretty decent. The other 2 were kind of mediocre because the core is so big. And then the Mantra Solid. The Mantra Solid is probably the biggest underdog of the release cycle. I'm curious to see how people like that one. when it actually comes out. If many people end up buying it. The mantra got discontinued insanely quickly. You can buy it right now for $100 wherever you want. So it got super, super discounted. So we'll be curious to see how those go. And then the other thing is new urethane rules from USB-C were announced last week. I know you've probably seen and talked about it on every other platform all over the last 6 days. I know last Thursday and last Friday, you had a reiteration of everybody and their mother spouting their opinion about what they think of urethane. USB-C has had a ton of announcements come out about it. I made a video that came out last week. I did a live stream of it last week. There's been way too much stuff going on. But if you guys have questions on that, I was able to talk to USB-C directly, which was a really cool experience. They shared my video on Facebook. They reached out and enjoyed the content. So huge thank you to USB-C for that. But if you guys have questions for anything going on with that, please let me know. But otherwise, we're going to keep going with our full Q&A. I forgot drink of the day is a pink monster. This is the Ultra Strawberry Dreams. It got discontinued. I was able to get a 24-pack right before they got sold out. So this is probably one of my favorite flavored monsters ever, minus the white monster. That one's still goated, as we all know. Let's see. Big Mike, Elise from Nate and Elise bowled to 300 with it. Since it's hybrid, it should be house shot approved. Yeah, it'll be good on hybrid. It'll be good on house. Yeah, and again, Elise is a professional. She's a touring women's pro, so she could throw a 300 with a plastic ball. Dan, have you ever thrown the red pearl hammer overseas ball? Basically a purple hammer with a big ASM curl. Yeah, they kind of tried that with the pink widow. Super strong core. Urethanes are never as good. They're good for about a game, but the minute there's carry down, they kind of puke out. So be ready for that. Buzzy, any idea why Emotive isn't a popular brand? They're the latest to the game. They're the newest company. Out of all of them that isn't under their own umbrella. They didn't get picked up by a company that was already bigger, so they've always worked on a smaller budget, smaller plant, all that. And the way that they run, they have slightly higher prices. Now, Motive fans are massive diehard Motive fans. They will throw only Motive. They probably have the second biggest like cult following of all the brands, Hammer being number one. So they are popular, just less popular. I wish I had my numbers on me, but I think they had like 20% of my vote when I said, what bowling balls are you throwing for league this year? So it wasn't a bad number. It was higher than I expected, honestly. Joe, what's going on? Tony, I have a Hazmat Solid, Hazmat Pearl, and a Mania. The Tour V1 might be a little too close to that Hazmat Pearl, between that Hazmat Pearl and Solid, so I would personally avoid it for now and just see where it fits a little better. Jake, did you ever play Hollow Knight? Because you should. Oh, I'm almost through Act 1 of Silksong right now. I am at the Bell Town, whatever it's called, and I am not good. I was good at Hollow Knight, and I had high confidence and high hopes, and then I got into Silksong, and I realized that it was hard. That was a real, actual difficult game. Ken, thoughts on the new effect? I'm curious on the new effect. I'm curious between that and the Mesmerize. Why would I buy the new effect instead of a Mesmerize is going to be the big question that I ask. And that's what happens when you have like either Storm or Brunswick. Yeah, all the companies, when they have a ball come out, it's why would I buy this over insert ball that's already out? I asked that with the Rockstar in the Phase 2. Like, why buy the Rockstar over the Phase 2? They gave some pretty good reasons. A little bit different, a little longer, a little sharper. And it actually is also sometimes a little bit cheaper. But otherwise, I'm asking the same thing with the effect. I'm very curious to see. I haven't seen an actual comparison yet, though. So I want to see that comparison. Remember, ball reviewers watching this, do comparisons. They make it 10 times better to actually watch a ball review so we know what's going on. Amazing Robin, B7 ball similar to the Equinox? Oh. No, not really. Brunswick doesn't really have anything smooth in that category, in that ASIM Pearl category right now. No, the Equinox is kind of on its own over there right now. Maribeth, what's up? Hello, it is indeed Wednesday today. Today is the Wednesday. Brooke, the pro is Kyle Troop. Hey, love that. And you guys are birthday twins? That's fantastic. That's super cool. Thomas, what is your opinion on the new Hyperdrive Pearl? Where does it sit? The Hyperdrive Pearl is interesting because the cover is so weak. So it's a step above the Gremlin, step below the Attention Star, step below the Equinox. So it fits a weird niche. So if you didn't pick up the Gremlin, this could be a good option. If you have a Gremlin and you have like an Equinox or something, do not get the Hyperdrive Pearl. Not really worth it in that regard. Derek, I'm a junior gold and PBA junior bowler. I was wondering what are some good urethane alternatives. So I would recommend just a 78 hardness ball. Get like the Black Hammer 78 or the IQ 78. Because urethane is still, in my opinion, is still a necessity in those tournaments. In junior gold and PBA juniors, it's still a necessity, but it's just going to be those different ones. So I would recommend that for now. There really aren't any good alternatives. The bowling ball companies didn't need alternatives because urethane was doing so well. So they tried making a couple alternatives here and there, and they never did well. Shout out to the Level. Shout out to like those ASIM urethanes like the Hot Cell, the Pink Widow, a lot of those. They just haven't done well. So they really just avoided that category entirely. So there really aren't good alternatives right now. RC Car, what is a good asymmetrical core? I think you asked this last week as well. I said the Black Widow core. I like the Attention core right now. The Jackal core is goated. Those are just 3 of the best. Garrett, two-handed righty, slightly rev dominant. I've never had a symmetrical ball I love. Is there something that makes me prefer ASIMs? It might be how you drill them and just the shape of them being what they are could be a little bit of a difference, but you're as a rev dominant two-handed righty, you're going to need symmetricals at the end of the day, so I'd recommend keep trying them out. Gandhi, do you think a solid version of the Star will be released? Nope. Never. They have the hyperdrive. They're going to ride that to the sunset. I just don't think a solid Attention has done very well in their testing is my guess, because otherwise we would have had one in the S2. And the S2 was good, but it wasn't great. So I doubt we're going to see one. I think we'll have other balls take that place. Like, there's no reason to have one if we have a hyperdrive already, really. Let's see. Brooke, any tips on having my hand stay still behind the ball? That is one of the toughest things. One of the things is wrist strength. Wrist strength is a big one that I've noticed for people, is just got to make sure those wrists are strong enough and just get into a position where you're not muscling it. If your wrist is shaking, that probably means, or moving, that probably means that you're still muscling it that little bit. So got to remember that smooth swing is what'll do it. Jack, Motive definitely is the most expensive, and they always will be. They will always be #1, unfortunately, for prices. Babe Bolton, thank you for the share. Mike Mitchell, thank you for the distraction. Yeah, absolutely. Pool, if I'm going to open bowling for practice and only have to bring one ball, what do you bring? Thinking of polyester, but maybe urethane benchmark. What do you think? I would go reactive yet, because even if your ball reaction's bad, you can still get good practice. It depends what you're going to practice for. If the lanes are torched and they're not good, what I recommend is just don't work on striking. I don't think practice should ever be like trying to just strike. Practice should really be trying to fix physical game issues. If your hand isn't being behind the ball, if your speed's too slow, the goal should be trying to fix those things instead of trying to just like just try to strike. That usually isn't the best practice method. Reese 640 at Youth League. 5 of my messengers didn't connect. Hey, congrats on the 640. Unfortunate on the 5 messengers. That's if even 2 of those hit, you're whacking a 690. You're getting close to 7 if it was awesome strikes. Vito, low rev speed dominant bowler. What would you recommend? Stronger bowling balls are going to be your best friend. Stronger bowling balls will be the key. Red Vacuums, happy Wednesday, man. I need to get back to the lanes now that my pinched nerve is gone. Yes, absolutely. Good. Glad that's done. Glad that pinched nerve is a little bit better. It's awesome to hear. Using a urethane ball means we have to adjust as much as everyone else. I don't understand. No, actually, you don't. The big thing with urethane is you don't have to adjust as much. Your moves are 1 board or half boards or a little bit of a speed change, where reactive, it's 2 boards or 4 boards or even a full ball switch. So yeah, that argument against it is valid, that for urethane, you can generally stay in almost the same spot all day and you can still hit the pocket at will. That's kind of the big one, where reactive, you can't really do that for long. And that's been proven on PBA Tour. That's been proven for high-level amateurs, low-level amateurs, at every level of the game. Jake, we hit you. Frog Obsessor, how would you recommend drilling a Typhoon? High rev two-hander? I would go just something basic, like, and you could go like 4 3/4 by 4 by 4 and be fine. Anything like that. Ace. Thanks for the info. Is the hammer axe reactive or plastic? Technically, it's reactive, but it's basically plastic. It's not plastic truly, but it's basically plastic. It's that like low friction plastic stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone a lot just to check with BowlerSmart why my links aren't working and why all that is broken, and I am unfortunately not getting a response from them, and it's been a couple hours, which Wayne, locked in the alley again. Have to throw 300. Two-hander with any ball you want or regular release with the direct hit. Two-handed with any ball you want or your regular release with the direct hit. Nah, give me two-handed. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out with like my Typhoon and be fine. Xander, since the Tour V1 has the same cover stock as the 2.0 hybrid, I wonder what it would look like with polish. Probably just be a little later and maybe a little sharper. Probably a similar downlane motion is my guess. So while it is the same cover as the 2.0 hybrid, it's going to be different. Like I think it has that carbon fiber infused, and no cover stock truly plays the exact same when it's like the 2.0 hybrid cover is what, 2 years old, 2.5 years old, 3 years old at this point. Whereas of course this one's brand new. So it won't play very similar. Playful, what's up? Two-handed. I got an Effect Tour, Stealth Hybrid, and an Atlas Hybrid with the Tour V1 fit. Looking forward to something below the Effect, but not as strong or continuous as the Stealth. Two-handed, I've got an Effect Tour, Stealth Hybrid, and Atlas Hybrid. No, I would recommend against it because you have that Stealth. It would be a little weaker than that Stealth, but I don't think it's enough. I would recommend just getting a Pearl Ball. Getting a weaker Pearl Ball to fit that spot would be a little bit better. No Thumb Bowler. I tried to get Brunsnick to squash his beef with you. He obviously ignored me. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, I have DMs out. So one day, there will be a day. Until then, you will unfortunately not be seeing me throw a Brunswick ball before release, probably. Is disappointing. Robin, do balance arsenal recommendation change whether you're high rev speed or low rev or speed? It really just depends if you're speed dominant or rev dominant. There can be slight tweaks, like if you're high rev, high speed, and you're speed dominant. I still think those stronger bowling balls are going to do better for you, but you could have too high of revs to make the ball roll out, but your speed should compensate for that. So really, I would recommend just focusing on, are you speed dominant, rev dominant, or balanced are the big three. Kayla, thank you so much for the heart. Appreciate it. Buzzy, I appreciate your feedback. I love the Venom Shock. It's good. We love it. This is my new page, by the way. Used to be bowling with Brooks. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Good. Good. Love to see No Thumb Bowler. It's great. Welcome, welcome, man. Welcome back. Gandhi, motion of the RST Pearl looks close to the Gremlin. The Gremlin's going to be smoother. Gremlin's going to be a little rounder, a little bit smoother is what I've seen so far. Jake, they should make a Quantum Bias Pearl. I can see the Quantum series coming back in the next... I can see in the next like year and a half, 2 years would be what I would think. The Quantums always make a comeback every like 5-ish years. So yeah, wait a year or two and you'll see it. Serapia, do you recommend the Hyperdrive Pearl for a high rev two-hander? No, I would not. I'd recommend a little bit weaker is going to be your favorite. C, I got the Black Widow Mania. Black Widow Mania compared to the Tour V1, way different bowling balls. That Black Widow Mania is going to be longer and a lot sharper than that Black Widow Tour. Devin, should I get the RST Hyperdrive Pearl? Depends, Devin. It depends what else you have to try to fit around it. It's more of a stronger, medium, sharp ball. Jake, Snake Bizzle from Discord. Hey, yeah, I love to see that. Grump, you did try hard. It was unfortunate that he ignored it. Ah, shoot. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for trying. Thank you guys also for being such a good community in those cases. Like, our goal is never negativity towards anyone or anything here. Like, that doesn't really get us anywhere, but unfortunately, hopefully one day we can all be happy together. That sounds so, like, cliche and, like, Hallmark movie sappy. Ugh. What is going on with me? Joe, what's going on? Get us away from that. As a great Walter Sobchak explained, F it, let's go bowl. I don't know who that is. Is it bad? I don't know who that is. Yell at me if I'm being dumb. Mike Mitchell, have you heard anything about the Black Friday deals at BowlerSmart? I have not. No, I don't hear any of that stuff beforehand. Like, it's all a surprise, as much of a surprise to me as it is to you guys. Grumpa, my PSO is finally drilling my Jackal EJ, Pride Dynasty, and Hazmat Sol. Love to see that. Love to see it. Aaron, you are welcome. Tonya, got the Paragon Shadow and Theorem Solid. 289 with it. Should I get the real time? The real time will be a lot weaker, so I think it could be good. I think it could be pretty decent for you. All right, let's keep checking up on comments. We're doing a better job at connecting. Also, Grumpa, thank you so much for the Prime subscription over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. Huge thank you for that front. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. We are live on Twitch right now. If you guys have Amazon Prime, you do get a free subscription over there. And then you get ad-free viewing on that platform. So one of the positives over there. One of them positives. Jake, infinite games but no games, or infinite direct hit but no games. Are you quoting Machinima Respawn, Machinima Inbox, Jake? In the year 2025? Please tell me that's what you're quoting right now. You want unlimited games and no bacon. Or unlimited bacon, or no bacon, but also no games. I think that's what it is. I need to go back and watch some of that. They purged a lot of those clips, unfortunately. Brooke, I've tried a bunch to feel like I'm in the middle through of my swing, but it always looks the same. Bowling is hard where you feel like you make a crazy big change. You're like, wow, this feels radically different. And then you watch a video and it's like 4 degrees difference. Like, man, this stinks. That's one of the hardest things with bowling. Like, and in any sport, in any activity, like, to make that habitual change, it has to be extreme. Then you hope your body finds that middle ground in there. That's usually the best way to go at it. So like for me, I've been trying a little bit more lately to open up my shoulders on the middle couple steps to try to get a better swing path. And for me, I need to feel like my chest is facing like past, like further than the right wall, like behind me almost. And I look at video and my chest is like just barely open. It's like, what the heck? It's crazy. Hardest part of bowling. Apex, is the Venom Shock within the same range of the Phase 2? Yes and no. I think you can have both in the bag. The Venom Shock is definitely weaker and a little bit smoother. But yeah, they are both symmetrical solids, both in the medium smooth category. So you don't need them both, but they are the GOATs. Aaron, question, you're just saying about seasons. Now, it doesn't depend on what bowling you're talking about. For example, PBA, PWBA, USBC, aren't those seasons different? Yes, and that's the tough thing. PBA is, this year, it sounds like it's going to be February to May, I think. PWBA is always throughout the summer months. USBC is, of course, the fall, winter, spring. It's 9 months out of the year. So it's very tough to find a time when bowling's not on. And then if you go to the summer, you have Junior Gold as well and all the youth events, which I'm never a fan of those being in June. Being the middle of June just kind of stinks. Like in Minnesota next year, it's kind of going to suck that it's going to be super hot because these centers get really, really hot and humid in the summer. We're going to need to see a little bit more AC up here in the Minnesota. Matthew, what are good low to medium RG, low to medium diff, but strong cover balls? There aren't many right now, unfortunately. There's very, very few. The best one right now is going to be that Hammer Effect Tour. The old Scorpion Low Flare was in that camp, but unfortunately that ball is gone. May it rest in peace. But the Effect Tour is going to be a good bet, and then that Black Widow Mania is also going to be a good bet now. Or sorry, Black Widow Tour V1. My bad. Ty, is IQ Ruby weak enough for weak and sharp? Yes, it is definitely a weak and sharp ball. All right, let's keep checking up. I did see display. I'd like to mention that you currently have the undisputed best monster flavor right now, and I'm very jealous. Hey, you're not wrong. This is by far the best monster flavor outside of White Monster, but that's in its own category. I think of all of the niche flavors, this is number one. Like the grapefruit one is fine, the ruby red grapefruit, but like this one's better. Aaron, of course, bowling is an all-year-round sport. Can you please expand on what you're saying? Are you talking specifics with professionals or us that bowl casually in league? Everybody. So if USBC tries to make a change, it's always really tough because they have all of these different aspects of the game that they have to focus on. They can't just say like, they can't focus on just league bowling because they run Junior Gold, they run the collegiate season, they run the PWBA, they run open championships, they run, oh, there was another one that ran in there. What I forget? Open championships league, USBC Masters, US Open, they run stuff all year long. So it's very hard to implement a change to implement a change when no one's bowling. It's so tough. Big B signed up for a Scotch doubles tournament. Hey, good luck. Scotch doubles is really fun. It's super fun. I remember with this was a bad date idea. I was just getting into bowling and I just started dating somebody and we were what 3 or 4 months in and I found a New Year. It was hilarious. It was a New Year's Scotch doubles tournament. She didn't bowl at all. Very rarely. Like I think we got her a ball and that was it. And we tried bowling a New Year's Scotch doubles event. And for Scotch doubles, I don't remember if it's Scotch where this is a play, but if she throws the first ball, I have to pick up the spare. And only until she strikes can I actually throw a first ball. Otherwise, I'm just picking up spares or vice versa. And it was adult youth because we were at like youth at that time could be 22 and below. And I technically qualified for youth. She was the same age as me, but we qualified her as adult, which was awesome. So we didn't win. We did okay. I think we were like middle of the pack or almost made cash or something, but it was just hilarious. He was like, "Oh, you guys seem close in age." Like, yeah, we're like a month apart, but she's the adult, I'm the youth. So yeah, Scotch was fun. That was fun. I had to attempt to pick up a lot of spares that day, and just like now, I'm not good at picking up spares, so it didn't go great. Dakota, how would this affect the motive tank? It does not. The tank Rampage Pearl is on the ban list, but that's it. Otherwise, the other tanks are good to go. Dan, any tips on how to keep my ball side shoulder back? I have a tendency to get too much forward tilt, which caused me to get on the side of the ball too much. Keeping the shoulder back, one good way is try to focus on, one thing that I try to do is just keep that shoulder silent. So you don't want, it's mainly on your torso. You don't want your torso flipping through the ball. You want your torso kind of staying in one position, pointing one direction. So I'd focus on keeping that torso pointed, keeping that chest pointed. Dakota, Motive is turning into the brand I go to the most. A lot more people are going towards Motive. I know they've said they've had their best year ever this year, which is good to hear. So love to hear that for them. They do good things. Brooke, I'm getting the IQ AI this weekend. It is going to be a medium sharp ball on the weaker end. So it's going to be below like a Piranha Power Core Pearl is really where it's going to fit. I don't remember your arsenal exactly, but that's really where it's going to go. Jake, it was unlimited games, but no games, or unlimited bacon, but no games. Yes, that's what it was. Yes. God, I need to go watch some Machinima Respawn clips again. I'm going to do that. I am going to do that. Too Tall, what's going on? Would be a good layout for my new teammate's Purple Hammer. You always want to go like 4x40 or 4x35. That's always a good play. Vito, I'm a low rev speed dominant. What ball would you recommend? Speed dominant, you're definitely going to want to go like stronger bowling balls. You're going to want to go things like asymmetrical solids are going to be your friend. Asymmetrical pearls too. Playful Motive may be more expensive, but they got some really good cheap options. Oh, the Max Thrills are one of the best bang for your bucks. The Venom Shock is still a bang for your buck. It's always super cheap for some reason. Their other stuff is just a little pricey. Their ASIMs get very pricey. Bowling Brian, Harsh Reality has 150 games on it. Hey, Carson, thank you for the 200 coins. Appreciate it, man, for the sunglasses. I've noticed that it isn't driving as it used to. Should I rejuvenate or just replace? I would try rejuvenate first if you really like the ball motion, but if that doesn't work, then try a replacement. Radical Ryan, what's going on? Longtime listener, first time caller. Oh, I love it. It's like a radio show. Does anyone listen to the radio much anymore? I asked that question to a coworker the other day. I was kind of curious. Or does everyone just listen to streaming stuff? Does it make sense why my zigzag solid is weaker than my hitter solid, both with the same layout? No, it doesn't. That zigzag should be a little bit stronger. Not by much. Those balls are fairly close, but it still should be a little bit stronger. But maybe the layouts are a little different, or not layouts. Maybe the amount of games on them are a little different. The surfaces are a little different. They are close enough together where they're weaker asymmetrical solids, but yeah, the hitter should be a little weaker, a little sharper. Also, Derek, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Really appreciate the $5. Zach, do you think the gem core will return? My 3D assault is too strong to me to throw straight up. For your first question, no, I don't think the gem will be coming back anytime soon. I think we probably have another 5-ish years until we see the gem come back. Usually when they get rid of the full like line like that, you don't see it return for quite a while. It's kind of like how we haven't seen the UFOs come back. Besides the XL, we haven't seen the cells really back that often. So I don't think we will. And the 3D Assault is too strong for straight up. That's fair. That ball is pretty hefty core and cover combo to it. So that makes sense. Stanley, I'm an older one-handed bowler, still throwing the Obsession Tour. Should I consider the Widow Tour pin down? It's still going to be a little quicker. Still going to be a little quicker than Obsession, but if you like your Obsession, if you like your Effect Tour, if you like your Envy Tour, I think it's a good option. Let's keep catching up on comments. We're a little behind, so apologies, guys. Apex, I'm trying to get a weaker ball. Any suggestions, Rev Dominant? Typhoon is a really good option right now. 60 feet, and what's the ball limit sending in an Arsenal? No ball limit right now. I think the most I've seen is 50 bowling balls for the reviews. Dan Tippett, I don't like polish. What pad should I put on my Origin and Equinox? 3,000. If you don't like polish, go 3,000. Scott Ogden, what's up? RJ, drill angle 35, val 30 with my speed of 14.5 to 15. 375 revs. It depends on the pin to PAP, RJ. If you have a pin to PAP, let me know. Otherwise, those all should seem fine for now. And Sealands, what is going on? Sean, thank you so much for the super chat. $20 super chat. Huge thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Your last Arsenal vid was on point, especially recommending new bowler focus on his game. If I do not master what I've got, new balls will not hook. Yeah, there's a happy medium there. There is a very good happy medium for bowling balls where if you go too hard on buying a lot of bowling balls without developing your game, you're not going to notice the differences. But on the other side, if you go too hard at focusing on your game, and you don't work on the bowling balls and you only have one bowling ball, that's another massive skill in the current game of bowling that you need to hone in. So there is a medium ground there. I'm trying to come up with like a guide of if you're new to bowling, this is how many balls you should have. If you're an intermediate, if you're an expert, wherever it may be, like this is how many bowling balls people generally carry so that people have an idea so they don't go overboard or they don't go underboard. You see both sides so often. You'll see people who are pulling up to a tournament and all their bowling stuff is 6 years old. They throw it gorgeous, absolutely beautifully, but they don't have any equipment that actually hooks anymore, so they don't do well just because of the bowling balls. So you got to find that middle ground. Tony, I have a Paragon Shadow and the Theorem Solid. Should I get the real time or the Hammer Vibe? I would go real time. It'll be a little stronger. Lincoln Dots, I'm speed dominant. You have the Black Widow 3.0 and the Mania. Should I pick it up as a Tour V1 or pick up the 2.0 hybrid? I would go V1 over the hybrid. I think the hybrid will be too close to the Mania, so I would go Tour V1 if you want a Spider Ball. Spider Ball. Jared, question on Thane. For college, when does it apply? And what hardness can I use? So, college, you can use the Purple Hammer and the Pitch Black all year long until you get to the ITC or the ISC tournament. That is the only time you cannot throw your Purple Hammer or your Pitch Black. You actually cannot throw any urethane. So you don't need to buy that IQ. You don't need to buy that Black Hammer. You just need your softer urethanes and you're going to be good to go all season long. Except for the ITC and the ISC, you're going to have to use reactive. So that's a big thing for college. It's pretty basic for college at the end of the day. It's just do what you were doing until you get to that final tournament. Then you cannot do what you were doing. Dan, my Red Pearl Hammer overhooks past game 1. That's about getting a Pitch Black to ball down. I know the Purple Hammer is the GOAT, but I don't think I need the back end motion. I don't like a ball down on urethane. Usually balling down from urethane to urethane doesn't go that well because they do similar things. It's just their down lane motion. I don't think the Pitch Black will be better. It's just going to be smoother. I don't think so. I like personally having a Purple Hammer and the Pink Widow and then having the option because when the Pink Widow's good, the Purple Hammer's bad. When the Purple Hammer's good, the Pink Widow's bad for me, and I can't really throw both. I can only ever throw one and then switch to reactive or the other and switch to reactive. But I'm also a little more speed dominant. I'm also not the biggest fan of urethane. Like, for my own game, I should say. Vision, gotta go. Gonna be Zach soon. All right, sounds good, man. Or Apex, sorry, Apex, my bad. Vision I was reading over here. Is the Black Widow Tour considered medium smooth or medium sharp? I'm going to say medium sharp right now is what it looks like, in my opinion. Let's see. David, do bowling centers have a setting where you can work on your physical game without any pins to distract you? Unfortunately not. I am always a fan of an old scoring system I had at my original home center. You could turn off the scoring and just turn the lane on. I would always do that. So the scoring wouldn't be on, but you would still have the lane running. That was my favorite, but unfortunately when you go practice, they need some way of actually like tracking how many games you bowl to charge you. So really kind of tough. I would recommend just ignore it as best you can and then just reset the pins and then just only throw strike shots is the best way. Gabriel, effect ball good. Oh, effect is so good. Going on. C-Lance, the USBC rules are a mess. I agree that they're tough. Once you get them down, they're easier. And once you know personally what you need to care about, then it's super simple. At the end of the day, the hard thing is a lot of people hate how many rules there are with it, but aren't actually affected by it. So, I mean, a lot of the people who complained on my video were just league bowlers, and like it doesn't matter to anybody, any league bowlers. That's why I'm trying to enforce the idea that this does not affect many people. And if it does affect you, it only affects you like 1% of the time at most. Unless you're a PWBA player, that is the only time it affects you 100% of the time. Everybody else, it does not affect you in the slightest. Matthew just got an Ember, loving it. Love to hear that. I have the mid 500s rev rate, looking for a medium smooth ball. You could go Cove if you like the Ember. The Cove is an option. Absolutely. And Ty, IQ Tour, weak enough. Yes. So we hit that. Sir Turtle. Evoke Hysteria, Vibo, Identity, Phase 2, Ion Pro Hybrid, Typhoon. Which 3 balls for typical house shot wood? Ion Pro, Typhoon, Identity. Wayne, if you could only throw exclusively Radical or exclusively C300, how long until you quit bowling? I wouldn't quit bowling. I'd go Columbia right now, I think. I would go Columbia. Yeah, I think that would be best. Derek, the Radical Podcast did a fantastic job breaking down how ridiculous these rules are. So I don't really listen to those guys, their podcast. I might have to go back and check out what they said because I really want to make sure that there's not bad information coming out. Just knowing the rules now, looking at the sheet, looking at the research, I 100% now see where USBC was going with all their decision making. And I know this is going to be bad. This is going to probably get a lot of you to leave, so apologies. I know that right now it is easy to hate USBC. I think a lot of the decisions they made on this urethane one on first glance was like, this is stupid and ridiculous. Getting into it a little bit more, hearing their videos, seeing the research report, seeing what their goal is, it makes perfect sense. At the end of the day, USBC is slowly getting us towards a ban on urethane bowling balls. That is where they're getting us to. But to start, they have to implement some rules so that they don't have a hard ban because that messes up. It messes up collegiate right now because college bowlers already bought their bowling balls for the season. And junior gold qualifiers already happened. And league has already started. So it's very hard to remove that stuff because you have to remember that a lot of bowlers don't get equipment for free. A lot of college players don't really get it. Derek, do me a favor, watch the podcast and comment. They might block me the second I comment, unfortunately. With the amount that they've talked about me, especially on one of their hardness ones, it's unfortunate. USBC has made hating them easy. One of the problems is USBC, the hard thing is like, it's so tough because they want what's best. They're not an evil entity that's trying to destroy bowling. Like they're trying to work on what's best. 95% of the people that work at USBC are really good people just wanting bowling to do well because that is their job. It's like, for me, my goal wouldn't be to destroy the sport of bowling secretly behind the scenes. My goal is to grow the game, and it's whatever way you can do that. And I think the urethane rule, while it's tough, I understand where they were going. A lot of it does make sense at the end of the day. So, Gur, how dare you have an opinion? Yeah, and I try not to spout my opinion on a lot of these pieces because it is so divided. Like, I know if I would make a Facebook post right now saying either I support the urethane decisions or I hate the urethane decisions, I'd have people leaving both ways. And my goal isn't to be like a like a personal entity, like you guys should listen to what I say and I'm an influencer. How I also think the Radical podcast should not be bad mouthing USB-C that much. They are a bowling ball manufacturer. They should not be publicly angered at their main entity because it's going to cause their customers to be angered, and that is not good for the sport of bowling. I will firmly believe that they are being very toxic towards the sport of bowling right now, and that is not good. Like, if we love it or hate it, we need to find ways to see what we can do from here forward. Urethane is fun, isn't it? Are these research videos public? Yes, they are, Brooke. They are fully publicized. USB-C had a live stream go live today on their Facebook and their YouTube. They had, what else do they have? They had an actual research video go live that was pretty long. They had a research report. Like, they have a lot of documentation out there, and I highly, highly recommend, if you guys care about the urethane topic, please watch it and please look at it. I think it's a very good thing to look at. Johan, Grumpa, you need a direct hit. USB-C is getting better. All the PWBA events were oiled this year. Well, that isn't on USB-C. That's on a lane man messing up. That's all that was. The machine malfunctioned is really what it was, which is unfortunate. And there's not much you can do we've been at tournaments where they accidentally put out the house shot on half the center. I've been at tournaments like that, and it sucks, but there is nothing you can do about it. Like, once the lanes are oiled, once you bowled a couple games, you can't restart the tournament. It's impossible. It destroys everything. So that situation was unfortunate. Brooke, what do you think about the Brunswick Hammer statements and the lack of statement from Storm? Oh, it makes sense. I mean, for Brunswick, at the end of the day, this very much affects their bottom dollar. The Purple Hammer makes them a lot of money. And it's no matter what, they have to be against it because that's a lot of money they could be losing. Storm Motive, it doesn't lose them as much. It hurts them more to make a public statement than helps them, because politically, it's a bad idea to post a statement like that, no matter what. Like Brunswick's, I think they said that it was low flaring bowling balls now that are causing problems. They didn't even get into softness. They went into low flaring bowling balls, which was a new argument. So that was interesting, and it just raises a lot more questions when you release letters like that as a company. But Storm and Motive staying silent was a political move. Like, we're just going to stay out of this fight. They did stuff behind the scenes. They were talking with USB-C behind the scenes, but they decided that it's best to stay silent here, and that's totally fair. But they are also not the leaders in the Thane world. Am I missing anything left after that? Okay, no, we are not. And I'm still not getting a message. Speaking of softness, I found a UFO alert the other day for cheap. The UFO alert's still legal everywhere. Just can't bring it to nationals. Kind of like urethane right now. So it's a good ball. It's a fantastic ball. Amazing, amazing ball. James, I just had my ball speed rechecked. I'm 17 miles an hour at the pins, 410 to 420 rev rate. Oh, you're definitely speed dominant. If you're 17 at the pins, you're probably around 20 off your hand. So based on my sheet, I think you're a little more on that side. Little bit more on that side. Buzzy, EJ Jackal is so good. People love it. People love it. Oh, it's a Big Lebowski reference. Ah, that's why. I have not seen any of the bowling movies. I'm sorry. I'm a bad bowler, I know. Big Mike. So my arsenal is Ion Max, Ion Pro, Surge Pearl. 2 ASIMs, 1 Sim. Should next ball be a shiny ASIM or Sim? I'd recommend a shiny Sim. Shiny Symmetrical will be a good play. Brooke, did I see your comment about Junior Gold? No, it did not come through. Oh, no, there we go. Unpopular opinion. I wish for my youth stuff, it was just banned altogether. Even though I understand the rules fully, I think Junior Gold will be a mess. No, Junior Gold will be fine because I didn't personally realize that match play is like 16 bowlers. I thought it was a lot more bowlers made it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that how it is? I've never bowled Junior Gold. I got into bowling way too late, but is it only 16 bowlers make match play? Because what they're doing is, like, you have your bowling balls like usual, but then you do a wipe and you come and you have a new ball card with your new bowling balls. So let me know. Someone let me know. Billy, what's up? I have a phase 2. Do you think I should add a Rockstar? No. If you have a phase 2, don't get a Rockstar. Matthew, I heard you played volleyball too. My habit is to plant my left step because of volleyball habits. Oh, absolutely. If you notice mine, my push-off step is a baseball step. Because it's what I did in baseball where I have to turn my right foot to push. Where for bowling, you want to push through like your toes. And that has messed me up a lot. So yeah, all those other sport habits always get in, which is hard. It's very, very hard. Like for baseball, like and volleyball too, like you'll have the same thing where your shoulders, you want to whip them because that's how you get power in those sports. But bowling, that isn't the case. You don't want to do that because that means you're going to pull the ball and you're going to whip that shoulder through. Bad things happen. I don't know how to fix it, honestly. It takes a lot of rework of your brain to be able to do one thing for bowling and one thing for volleyball, which is hard. Brooke, it's top 16. Okay. Match play is usually very close to advancer's pattern. So I have it for one, but not the other. Yeah, the patterns Nick Hoagland confirmed is going to be way different. He's going to have a brand new, interesting pattern for match play and for the finals compared to what he's done past year. So it's technically just a change of the format of Junior Gold to a certain degree. So it's basically acting like two different tournaments. Their goal is that, well, I mean, basically the 25 million kids that go to it, you can bring your urethane just fine. But then once we get done with it, those final couple kids, you just have to get rid of the urethane, and then whatever extra balls you brought, you can throw those in if you want. So I think it'll be interesting. I don't know good nor bad. Confusing, yes. But what I recommend is to anybody bowling it, any parents doing it, just make sure you know the rules. We've got a lot of time, and USBC, I think, is going to do a lot to just like push that, like, yes, these are the rules. These are the rules. These are the rules. And personally, that's my goal as well when I'm starting to make my Junior Gold videos, is to promote these are the rules, these are the rules, these are the rules. So be ready for that. Like a lot of kids from Florida that have consistently made match play, it's urethane heaven. And that's going to be the thing. I know if you guys haven't, Beef and Barnesy had an incredible podcast yesterday with Nick Hoagland, the main lane man for USBC, the main pattern designer. It was by far the best discussion I've seen on urethane on the market today. So I would recommend watching them and hearing what they have to say over literally anybody else in the industry. Literally any other podcast, any other video. I think theirs was number one, including mine. I just went through the rules. I think theirs is incredible at digging into the deeper things. And what they really pushed is that's great that you can make urethane work, but you don't want, I think Hoagland's thing was you don't want a specialist, you want a generalist is what they're going for. They want somebody who can do it all. They don't want just somebody who can pump urethane up 5 for 30 games and strike at will. They want somebody who can pump urethane up 5 and strike for 6 games at will, and then be able to pump reactive 20 to 5 and be able to strike. Like that's what they want. And it's a good argument. It's a good philosophical argument of, do you want specialists in bowling where it is just who can throw urethane the best? Or do you want those generalists of or do you want the generalists of I can do it all? Do you want a Norm Duke or do you want a, this is gonna sound mean, so apologies, Jacob Buttroff? Like which one do you want to be the better bowler, the one who wins more? That's kind of what it gets into. Display, I'd like to mention that you currently have the undisputed best monster. Oh yeah, we hit that one. The white one. Not a fan of it. Wow, that's crazy. I thought everybody liked the white monster. TJ, how would the Black Widow tour compare to the stealth mode and the Envy? Longer and sharper than both. Longer and sharper than both. Vito, thanks for your recommending a strong ball, but what examples would you recommend? What balls or number? So I would go asymmetrical solids or hybrids. 3D assault or 3D offset assault, RST hyperdrive, Ion Max. Can't say evoke anymore. That ball's gone. There really isn't much motive there. Jackal Onyx might be a little too strong, but any of those balls I think will be good. Aaron, I did not know that USBC ran that many tournaments. Yeah, USBC personally, I think, runs more events than they should. I think USBC should be an entity that runs a lot of the rules and all that stuff. And then I wish somebody else would take over, you know, the Masters, the Open, the PWBA. But USBC has to run PWBA because unfortunately it went under for a while. So they were able to pick it up, but they don't run it on much of a, they don't make much money, if any, on the PWBA. I think they lose money on it, a couple mil a year or something. So I wish there was another entity. I wish that like World Bowling Federation would pick up the PWBA. I think that would be awesome. And then pick up like the US Open or something. Or PBA just picks it up, honestly. Because that's a lot for one entity to do. Johan, what's up? James, from ball reviews, it would help to know the bowler's stats and moves. That's the big thing. It's like, if I don't tell you the pattern I'm on, and if I just show you the ball and I just throw a couple shots, you guys are going to have no idea what it does. Like, last night, for example, I threw a mystery ball that I'll have a review on soon, but we were talking about it last week. I had a TikTok on it. Actually, it's been long enough. We were actually gifted an Optimum Idol Glow from Bowlers Connection on eBay. One of the best places to buy overseas equipment. They have a couple pro shops in Iowa and Minnesota. I recommend checking those guys out. And Jason Guest, he's an awesome dude. They run a really good pro shop. They run a really good eBay page, the Bowlers Connection. And a couple of you guys actually bought Idol Glow. So yeah, love that you guys were able to snag some of those. But we were throwing it and I was throwing it up 10, 11 and it looked like garbage. But if I just shot the video there and then, I could show you, man, this ball's terrible because I threw it there. But then, you know, a game later, the lane opened up a little bit. I got rid of the plastic carry down lane because there were a bunch of like middle schoolers on that pair and the ball looked awesome. I rattled off a ton of strikes and I could have just gotten a video of that and said, man, this is the best ball ever. So that's kind of the tough thing. We don't like, it's a tale. I mean, you can make a ball look however you want it to. You just play it in the wrong part of the lane. All right, let's see. Big B, bowled string pins for the first time. It was interesting. Use my purple hammer. It came back dripping with oil after every shot. Yeah, well, the purple doesn't absorb oil, so that could be a reason as well. All right, Jack. I listen to FM radio in the car. Hey, we got one. Lincoln Dots. Thank you, Lincoln. Appreciate that. Thank you for the prime. Really, really appreciate that. I speed dominant. Yeah, I think we hit your comment. Yeah, 2 or V1. Seth White, what's going on? I bowled another 300 with the EX. First was the Ion Pro, like I told you. Yeah, huge congrats, Seth. That is awesome to hear. Huge congratulations for another 300 with, yeah, Ion Pro into an Origin EX. Love to see that from you. Absolutely love that. Let's see. Brooke, that's also why I wish it was banned the whole time, because me, who barely uses it, could beat someone who always used urethane qualifying, but they will still make it on the easy way. Yeah, I know, it's that's kind of the tough piece, is if they just didn't allow it altogether. But their worry is, well, there were already junior gold qualifiers and they don't want kids to qualify with one ball and then not be able to throw it ever. But I know that it's tough, because have there been many junior gold qualifiers? No. PJR, urethane only helps high rev bowlers, and it is true. It can benefit a low rev bowler at times. I had somebody in my YouTube comments, unfortunately, saying that it helps low rev more than high rev, but no, it makes, I think Chris Barnes said it really well today, is 2 of the top 12 guys on tour use their thumb. Oh no, 3 of the top 12 guys on tour use their thumb. It was EJ, who's, you know, different animal, Graham Fa, and then Andrew Anderson. And Andrew Anderson was like, wow, he did insane this year. But the rest were high rev 2-handers. That's just where it's at right now. That's kind of what the Thane game has done. Is, I think he also said it well, where you use urethane until the pattern's 44 feet, and then you move way in and play it like a 44-foot pattern, is how he had it. XSN, is the Black Widow Toxin overseas solid good? It looks interesting. It looks really interesting. I don't know if it'll be good or not. Overseas stuff is always hit or miss, but interesting is the best way to put it. Display, I think I'll only ever make another impulsive buy on a ball if they put out another ball in the idle line. I could see it in a couple of years. Probably not soon, but a couple of years. Marco, what's the best finish for the Black Widow 2.0 special edition? I don't even know what the special edition one is. Black Widow 2.0 special edition. I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a thing? What the heck is that ball? I've never, the yellow one? Oh, it's a high. Oh, okay. It's just a Black Widow 2.0 hybrid. 3,000 grit is good. 3,000 grit would be pretty good. Reese, is the Venom Shock just a solid version of the Fatal? Yes, actually. That is the first time in history someone said it that way, but yes, it is. Yeah, usually it's like Venom Shock was the first. It'll say like, is the Fatal the Pearl version? But you went the opposite, which is awesome. Yeah, Daniel, we saw. What's up, man? Display. I'm going to try to get my girlfriend into bowling, and she's going to try to get me into art. I'm going to buy her a Surge. Ooh, good call. an Arctic Vibe, and a spare ball. There you go. I like that combo. That's a really good starting combo. And then you're going to get an easel and an iPad with a display pen, hopefully, or a drawing pen. Aaron, what I will say is when I use my pitch black, when I make a good shot, a lot of people say, and they're absolutely right, it's early, smooth, and walks into the pocket. Oh yeah, that's what it's best for. It's best for control. Urethane is the best control ball on the market. Like, you think the IQ Tour is good with control? No, urethane is better. Urethane is the ultimate control piece. Miguel, what pad can I use on my Mania? I'd go 3,000. You'll be good. 3,000 should be fine. You'll be set. Brooke, what's your opinion on college students being able to compete in junior gold? It's fine as long as they're in the age bracket. It should be okay. It should be allowed. Like, yes, they have had that extra year of experience, but that's kind of the hard thing with using age for a lot of this stuff. I get it. I get why, but like people get bumped up a grade and down a grade so often. Like that's one thing that hurts with high school sports. I remember we played we were doing Legion baseball in my junior year. So I'm young for my age. My birthday's in May. So I was 16 at the time, and there was a guy on the other team who was 20, about to turn 21. He got held back and a couple other things. So he was rocking full mustache beard, almost a 21-year-old who can drink, going against me and pitching, and it was nutty. So that's one of the hard things with sports in general is people get bumped up and down grades so easily. So if you use grade, it isn't really fair. If you use age, it isn't really fair. So yeah, a little unfortunate, but I think I'd rather use age personally. Billy, would the Origin EX be a good complement to the Gem? Yeah, it'd be a good step down, actually. It'd be a pretty good step down. Aaron, what do you think Storm is missing from their lineup, and what would you do if you were them? Ooh, really good question. I like that. I would have said a medium sharp bowling ball between the Zen and the Road Warrior, but we now have the Ember, so good on that part front. I think what we're really missing is a middle of the road solid ASIM that isn't the Origin EX, isn't as strong as a hyperdrive, like a strong core, weaker cover bowling ball. We don't really have that. We don't have like that Ion Max cover on an IQ core, something like that. And maybe not IQ, maybe a little stronger than that, but something like strong cover, medium core, kind of like what the Effect Tour is. I think we need more of that, like a stronger IQ Tour, I think would be fantastic. And that's just what we're severely missing right now. I don't know if we're going to get it anytime soon, unfortunately. Carson, welcome. Thank you for the greeting heart and the other heart and the sunglasses. Appreciate it, man. Yofo, what's going on, man? Ion Max is on sale. It is. If this Bowler Smart stuff doesn't get figured out, we unfortunately won't have it, but we were supposed to have a copper drop tomorrow. There are some awesome deals on that copper drop, but I can't get this stuff figured out. I might have to do a re-upload, unfortunately, or a re-release, so I'll have to have something else. But hopefully we have a copper drop tomorrow. Some really cool deals right now, some really awesome ones from the last couple of weeks that are still up on the site. I just really hope if we can get this figured out, then we'll be good to go. But they are still not answering me, which is not fun. Hopefully nothing bad happened, but we'll see. Bowling World is weird in that way, so my head immediately goes to negative things. But let's hope not. Hope all's good. Andy Reid, AMF 8270s do practice without pins. Oh, there he goes. Maybe ask nicely and pay by time instead of game. That's always a good option. Get to know your bowling alley operators, managers, workers, whatever it may be, and they'll be nice to you. They'll scratch your back. Derek, love the channel. Thanks, Zach, and have a great week. Thank you so much for hopping in, Derek. Really appreciate it. Good having you, man. Good having you. Sergeant Bubbly, thank you for the tiny diny. I love that name. Sergeant Bubbly. Playful, if the Tour V1 is too close to my stealth, what do you think of the dark side? Ooh, the dark side is a good ball down from it. That's a hefty step down, which is, I think, a lot better in that regard. I think that'll fit a little better. SHN Bowls, what are your thoughts about the level cover and which core do you think will pair well with it? I think they just needed a stronger core on it. The level cover seems pretty strong. That core was just so low flaring. Like, I think if you had a stronger core, like if you had an IQ level-esque core to it, it might be a little better because it is still reactive, but I think it needs a little more flair. It needed just that little bit more flair. Robert, thoughts on the new hammer? Yeah, both of them look good. The maximum effect is gonna be interesting. The new hook monster, it's gonna hook miles, is what it seems like right now. Needs a flood of oil like any big, strong ASIM does. And then the, Tour V1's looking really good right now too. It's gonna sell well because it's a Black Widow, so we'll be seeing a lot of that ball. It's the first time in Brunswick history I've seen, like, 5 or 6 ball reviews released the same day that the ball was announced. Usually, like, I'll make my preview video about an hour after the balls get announced, and then there's crickets for like 3 days. But today or yesterday, everybody had their reviews out already, which was cool to see. So that one's looking pretty good as well right now. Very different. Uh, David, I'm really surprised we don't have a better way to program the setters. Like, give me the 10 pin only. That's one of the areas in bowling that hasn't gotten any love is pin setters. Like, we've been kind of on the same ones because they're so pricey, and we haven't really evolved in that way. And our first evolution ever really has just been string pins. I really thought we'd have more, but it isn't a big money area by any means, so there hasn't been a big push. Like, the way to get a lot of not accomplishments. The way to get a lot of research and a lot of money into something to make it better is for it to be popular. And unfortunately, bowling pin machines haven't been the most popular thing in the world. And Bubbly with 10 more hearts. Thank you so much. Grump, I went through all my balls, and this is my arsenal. Jackal Onyx, Jackal Ghost, Jackal EJ, Raptor Rush, Hazmat Pearl, Hazmat Solid, Pride Liberty, Dynasty, Effect Tour. I like it. No, it's pretty strong, but that's okay. That looks really good right now. I think you're good at that. It's a lot of bowling balls to have, which is fine. Con Man, should I keep my spares one-handed like Osku, as I recently switched to two-handed? For one-handed, it's 90%, two-handed, it's 30%. I would recommend staying if it's 90%, but I'd recommend practicing two-handed spares, like, in your practice times. Don't do it in league, don't do it in a tournament. Do whatever you're gonna make the most spares with, but I'd recommend playing around with it. Play around a little bit, see what it does. David, we have remote control cars on Mars, but we can't program a pin setter. Yeah, but Mars is cool. Space is cool. Playful, and that has a lot of money getting dumped into it because of the lovely space race. If the space race didn't happen, we would not have that at all. That's a whole nother conversation. Playful, I tried watching the podcast, the Radical podcast, but can't do it. Too much ego and unfounded opinion, too little actual useful info. That's always the worry is, again, something I want to push to everybody here is only believe stuff if there's proof in bowling. Do not believe stuff if there is zero proof anywhere, because that is one of the biggest problems with bowling right now. Is there's a ton of just he said, she said misinformation going around, especially on urethane and on lanes and everything and anything. So remember, if they're not providing information, if they're not providing proof, it might be a complete lie. So be aware of that. Be very aware of that. Let's catch up over here. Display. I'm a tournament bowler, but I almost never use Thane. Yeah, I personally don't either. Not often. It is easier. I will low-key say it is so much easier if I can use urethane. Like, if I can throw a tournament where I'm like, hey, my purple hammer looks really good, my brain turns off, basically. And I'm just like, all right, pump it up the board. Let's go. It's great. It is great. Bowling Brian, if I replace the harsh reality solid, would you recommend Ion Max or RST Hyperdrive? Ion Max is going to be the closest of the two. So I'd go Ion Max. All right, let's keep catching up over here. Brooke, how do I figure out my rev rate without kegel level equipment? Yeah, Lane Tracks is going to be your best play. Lane Tracks and the great guys over there are going to be your best option. They do give you, I think, 20 or 30 free shots. I don't remember which one, 20 or 30, one or the other. Dune B, thoughts on the Spy? Plastic ASIM balls, I just don't sit well with me. It's so niche that you need to be a certain kind of bowler on certain kind of lanes. Now, since you're on old wood lanes, I think it's not a bad option. I would honestly recommend a Rhino over a Spy, because the Spy is going to roll out and the Rhino will not, because it has a smaller core. So I'd recommend looking that way first. And Seth, thank you for the 1 bit. Appreciate it, man. And Nightcapping over there. What's going on? Quick little reminder, I haven't really had many today, and it's already an hour and a half in. Yeesh, we've been flying today. Make sure to subscribe or follow if you haven't. If you're new here, make sure to check the buttons. Sometimes you get unsubscribed by YouTube at random times, or by TikTok or whatever platform. So it's the best way to help support the channel. Huge thank you if you do, so we can keep making these videos, keep making these live streams every week. But let us keep on checking all of them comments. Veto, my arsenal is Ion Max, Mania, Identity, IQAI, 3D Assault, Piranha Pearl, Mesmerize. Ooh, I think you've got pretty much everything covered, Veto. You got it all covered. Nice job. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Display, I'm pretty solid at flat rolling. Get up the back nicely, and that's a good skill to have. Very good skill to have. And Sergeant Bubbly, thank you for 10 more. And Seth, thank you for 35 more biddies over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Brooke, did you see a top 10 girl this year at Junior Gold? Had been at Nebraska for a year. Oh. Yeah, the hard thing is, like, if you bowl at Nebraska, you were probably good before that, like, very good before that. So that makes it a little tough. Nathan, it's 30 free shots. Okay, thank you. Yeah, but it's hard to tell people, like, you're not allowed to go if you're still in the age bracket. That's a tough piece. And Seth, thank you for the 59 bits, too. So many bits over on Twitch. Johan, have you seen what EBT did about the 78 rule? Yeah, didn't they ban it? Or didn't they like say, nah, you can throw whatever? They just kind of gave up? Or did they change their approach now again? Jack, low flaring bar argument does make sense with the super tight oil rings, rolling over the oil, sitting on the cover, and what could push the pattern down. It does to a certain degree, where yes, low flaring stuff is going to push more oil down than high flaring stuff, but urethane goes another level because it doesn't absorb that oil. So it basically just snow plows oil down lane. It basically just like it pushes as much oil as the low flare layouts do, but it also pushes even more because none of it actually like gets absorbed or anything like that. That is also from mainly Beef and Barnsey on that one. I think they have a really good take on that one, being very good professional bowlers. It's kind of hard to disagree with Chris Barnes on a lot of things, except for his football takes. Those ones you can, he's a Chiefs guy, so it's fair too. Wayne, I'd probably pick C300 too. I got that Super Cuda Pearl for 50. No, the Super Cuda Pearl was actually good. The Extreme Mega Super Cuda Power Core Super Pearl. Reese says the Venom shocked us. Yep, we hit that one. Vanities, what's going to stop pros using crazy layouts and drillings to get Thane-like? They can, but nothing rolls like Thane is the thing. It'll take a few years. Bowling ball companies will find a way, but you're never going to recreate what this urethane does. It's just not possible, especially if you get a cover stock that doesn't absorb. And now that USB-C is putting a stop to cover stocks that don't absorb anymore, it's going to be very hard to recreate. Like a short pin ball is going to react similar, but it's not going to do the same thing to the lane. It's actually going to still pick up oil because it's just a low flaring ball at the end of the day. So if you ask any of those guys, a lot of them will say short pin just doesn't really have a spot in high level bowling just because urethane does. But if we get to that point where urethane's gone, like if you get a 35-foot pattern, you are going to see guys with short pin layouts. That's going to be when it's good. It's just urethane's better right now. So it's just a better option. You want to always use the best option possible. Goal is knock down as many pins as you can. Short pin will probably just get you slightly less pins. Display at 16 for match play. Okay, yeah, perfect. Derek, I disagree, but respect your opinion. Hey, thank you, Derek. Appreciate that you, thank you for, disagreeing, but not, calling me any mean names that'll make me cry on a live stream. That would be a bad sign. Big Mike, it's insane to say that USB-C loses money because they charge $20,000 to have an event at an alley. That's why my local alley stopped having events. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, PBA events do too. PBA events charge an arm and a leg to have an event. It's crazy. It's always weird to me that like, hey, we want you to host our event, but you got to pay for it as a bowling alley. When it's like, as a bowling alley, you can make more money in open play for that weekend than you do from a professional tournament. But I guess. That's also an area that I am very ignorant on. Victor, mean names. Who's calling you mean names? Nobody yet. I haven't heard if anybody has yet. If you have called me a mean name, let me know. And let me know what you called me too. Make sure it's at least creative. Like, come on, we want to have creativity with our insults here. We don't want the stereotypical, just lame stuff. We need creative stuff. That's like when people are making fun of my form on TikTok or Facebook. Actually, Facebook this time did. There were some funny comments on there. There were some creative ones. I got called a 130 average bowler over there. That was a new one. That was interesting. Like, huh. I haven't been called 130 average before. I've been called 160, 180, but I've never been called 130. So that was a cool one. Matthew, and I grew up on Call of Duty, so it's hard to get under my skin with that stuff. Matthew, what can I do for a 2LS layout on my journey? I bowled on Fresh Dead Man's Curve, 2LS number 3. It refused to stay left of the head pin. Depends on what the ball was. I do not know what 2LS layout number 3 is, but I can pull it up quick. Oh, hey, it's my face on there as the fourth thing when you look up 2LS layouts. Oh, 5x4 by 3.5. Oh, that's a strong one. That is a strong layout. I would try number 1, might be a little better for you. Number 1 might be a little better in that regard. Let's see. Stand at like, yeah, 35. Yeah, it's definitely a little too strong of a layout. Con man, as I live overseas, there's a lot of overseas balls that look awesome. It's hard to know what they actually do on the lanes because there's basically no info. I know, I agree. Like with that idle glow that I got, there's no information. Like minus what I know on the box, and luckily Storm has a very good layout of like what their covers and cores do. So I knew what it would do because it's just a remake of the Idle Pearl, Optimum Idle Pearl, but yeah, it's it's a little tough on some of them. Like that attention power that came out, I have no idea what that would do. Not a clue. Gabriel, I just got done practicing. My thumb is screwed. Ugh, yeah, if you bowl too long, that thumb can be smoked at times. I'd check your thumb size though. Check the name of your thumb. What do you call that guy? Daniel Anderson had I left motive and I'm good against season. He really did. Motive stuff did not mesh with him as well. Radical stuff didn't either. He got out of Radical pretty quick. He's still on the videos. They haven't deleted the videos I saw. That's kind of funny. Ken, that's brutal 130. I know. It was like, man, calling me 130, like at least give me a little credit. I can hit a spare once in a while. Like, man, rude. Seth, I'm thinking about getting a Gremlin or a Rockstar. Both have good options in different situations. So if you want something clean and quick, go with a Gremlin. If you want something smooth and predictable, go with a Rockstar. Both really good bowling balls. I have them both. Can confirm they're both great. Both very, very good. Let's see, David Ruiz, first night of a league ever with a 456. Nice, that's awesome. Gremlin to Tundra Blue Fire. What's a good medium smooth ball for short, light oil fresh? I would recommend a Cove. You already have a couple Storm balls. I think a Cove could fit there well. And Marquez, would it be okay to polish a ball to get just a little bit of extra strength? Yes, 100%. That is a fantastic idea. Also, Mike Taylor, thank you so much for the super chat over on Facebook, over on YouTube. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Wife has a Hustle M&M, Tropical Surge, and a white dot. What should her next ball be? 150 to 180. It depends if those are overhooking. If those balls are not hooking enough, I think you need to go a little stronger. Maybe like you have mainly Storm. Honestly, I think an Ember might be good there. Ion Pro Solid if you want to spend a lot of money. That ball's really good. But if those hook too much, I would recommend a Rhino. So one of those two is going to be the play. Hey, Gabriel, what's going on Facebook? Any energy drink news? None that I've seen lately. I got to pick up on the ZVL reviews channel. I gotta do better on that one. I'm not very good on that regard, unfortunately. But I'll need to do that. Yeah, shoot. Man, my Bowler's Mark guys are on Eastern time, and they have not hit me back. So unfortunately, we'll be pushing back our copper drop video for tomorrow. Apologies, guys. Dang it. I really wanted that to come out tomorrow. Shoot, there were some good deals on it. George, I'm late to the party. Do you think the Mantra Solid or one of the new hammers coming out will take the place of the Hazmat? I think the Mantra Solid takes the place of the Hazmat. It's going to be a bit weaker, or not a bit, but a little bit weaker. But I think that's going to be your best option. Display. I will like to say, from my experience, my overseas IQ, when you keep it sanded, it fits nicely in that hole Storm needs. Oh, that's pretty cool. Love that. Brooke, hey, I love your match play videos to Victor. He makes really, really good match play videos. It's awesome. It's really good to see. There's a big hole in, we're going to get tangent here. Apologies. There's a big hole in bowling with a lot of high level bowlers who are not PBA bowlers. Like you watch a lot of the PBA ones, it's always hard because they have a very different way of going at tournaments. We don't have those high level amateur discussions. Victor hits that really well, where he is high level amateur. He bowls PBA regionals. He bowls a lot of the high up amateur events, the ones with big prize funds. And you actually can hear like what happens in these situations with a bunch of people who range from, 200 average to 240 average on a house shot. You have guys who've won PBA titles. You have guys who are bowling their first tournament. Those are really the crapshoots in bowling, and he does a good job at being able to look at what that does in the sport of bowling, because that's a level in bowling that a lot of people are at, but you don't hear much about. Like, you hear the PBA Tour stuff, but that is way different than what any of us mortals bowl. That they do very different things, because you have the 60 greatest bowlers on the planet all in the same lanes. So they know exactly how to break them down, and they know how to hit a dime down lane. So yeah, if you want to watch really good videos on that front, go check him out. He is absolutely dominating the game in that regard. Ray, I have a Black Widow Mania and a Hyper Venom. What should I look at for in between them on a house shot? Primal Rage. No Doubt. DB5 Pearl. Ember, I think fits there too. I think any of those will fit well. Brooke, I hope you have a good night. I got some work to do. All right. Yeah, thanks for hopping in, Brooke. Really appreciate it. Jack, maximum effect looks like hook in a box. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to hook early. Luckily, it's a hybrid, so it shouldn't hook as early, but still early. Steve, I love me some weak balls. Are any of the swag balls worth it? You have a twist, a surge, an axe, a spine, a max thrill, and a super rally. Man, it's kind of hard. You have a lot of weak stuff, so if you want more weak equipment, that Craze Hybrid is very weak, but smoother than everything else you have. So if you want something like that, that could be a good option. Otherwise, I think you have your lower end kind of covered, so I wouldn't recommend it. Billy, would a Lightning Blackout be a good medium sharp ball? It's more of a weak sharp ball. It has that strong cover, but that insanely weak hustle-ish core. So I think it's more weak sharp than medium sharp. But yes, it is a really good deal. It is at a price that seems good now. Dondrick, what is up? 350 rev rate, righty, 16 miles an hour off the hand. What do you think about the Theorem Solid and Crown Victory? I like it. That's a good one, too. C. Schwartz, buying my first pair of high-performance shoes. TPCs look prettier. Do you think I should get SST8 or C9? I would avoid the C9s. I would recommend SST8 or the TPCs. I like both. Once you get to that level of shoe, they're all pretty similar. They're just going to have different feel to them, so I think both are great, whatever one you prefer looks-wise, because you want to make them look good. ZV Link. Kevin, my Arsenal is an Origin, Phase 2, and a white dot. Yeah, that looks pretty good for League. A little strong, so it might be a little strong if you're rev dominant, but otherwise looks good. Miguel, what do you think about the Hustle Rip? It was a really good hustle. It stayed around for a while. Good, weak, smooth ball. Kevin, Ion Max or Theorem Solid for the new strong smooth. If you want maximum hook, go the Ion Max, no pun intended. If you want a little less hook, still usable on a League shot, go with the Theorem. I think both are still good, though. Sergeant Bubbly, two-hander, 16 to 17 miles an hour, 380 to 400 revs. With a new Widow, be good weak and sharp. No, it will never be a weak and sharp ball. No, it'll be medium sharp at the weakest. So it will never fit that weak sharp category. Yeah, Jake, check the Discord general. I made a hyper-realistic drawing of the direct hit. God, I hope it's a dumpster on fire. I really hope it's a dumpster on fire. Oh, I love that that meme has stayed around on this channel. It's my favorite thing. Ace, my arsenal is an Evoke, Hysteria, Venom Shock, Hyper Venom, Maxwell Solid, and a Maxwell Pearl. No, you have no holes. There's a big gap between the Venom Shock and the Evoke. Nothing you can really do. I mean, that's where a Primal Ghost would fit, but for now, it's a good 6-ball arsenal. I think you did good. Vatican, should I redrill my stuff and my speed increases? No, I think you're good. Play with the surface instead. It's a lot cheaper. Vatican, what are your thoughts on the Vice ovals? That's what I use. I love them. Vice ovals are what I have right now. I also love the Turbo ovals. Both are great. Vatican, OG track Theorem skid flip. Not really as much. It's a smoother shiny ball, so not skid flip per se, but still a little more angular. Jordan B, if you could only afford one ball as an intermediate skilled bowler who doesn't play League, which ball from each major brand would you pick? Afford one ball. Ooh. If it's any ball, any price, Ion Pro Solid from Storm. I would go. I'd go Effect Tour from Brunswick Brands, Venom Shock from Motive. Are the three. Heat, thinking about sanding my NV Tour Pearl. Think it could fit for rev dominant low tilt. Yeah, for sure. Struggling to find a reliable benchmark. I don't know if it'll be a good benchmark, but it'll still be a good ball for you, I think. Mike, I've been told to lay out every ball the same and let the difference of the ball. Yeah, I'm 100% with that. I like between 1 and 3 layouts at most. I don't like having specific layouts per ball. I do like the ball mattering more. The ball, once you find a couple layouts that work really well for you, like a high flaring and a low flaring layout, then I think you're good to go just putting those two on everything. So you let the ball dictate it. Once you get past like 4 bowling balls, I think that's the best play. Jared, school signed with Motive. I'm a 2-handed lefty. Best Motive equipment on my side. Prefer round. Yeah. I would go, if you can find a Tank Rampage Pearl, I'd find one of those. That's the one thing that your school's going to have to worry about is urethane. Urethane is a necessity in college, and Motive doesn't have any. So if you have to throw 100% Motive, you're kind of in a pickle. You're going to have to find a tank online or something. But otherwise, I would look at Venom Shock. I think is still a good lefty ball. Black Venom is a good lefty ball. Lethal Venom is a good lefty ball. And then I think if you can find a Sub-Zero Forge, I think is a good super strong lefty ball. Ken, I had to come over here because TikTok was choppy. Ah, dang it, TikTok. Yeah, it does that once in a while. Its connection is sometimes iffy. Oh no, David, you have an RST Crash. What is that thing? RST Crash. I have never seen this ball before. Ooh, it looks like a Harsh Reality Solid. It is the old RST Core Optitrax Solid. That was on the clone. Oh, it wasn't solid? Okay. It's stronger. It's a strong ball. Yeah. Pretty strong and smooth. Daniel won the city tournament with an overseas IQ. True. The overseas stuff can be really good. It's just expensive. Gabriel heard the Sour Strip Ghost is coming back. Hey, let's go. Don, what is going on? How you doing, man? Sergeant Bubbly, thank you for the 100 coins. Don, I was supposed to get the New Brunswick shoes last week. The pro shop guy doesn't have his stuff together. I'm sorry about that. That can happen sometimes. Dondrick, do you think the Primal Ghost would be close to your GB5? Yes, way too close to have both. 100%. Do not get both. Do not get both. Lane Ranger, what's your view on the Ethos Solid? Two-hander with a lot of revs and low speed. Do not get it. It's a very strong and slow bowling ball. I have also heard nothing about that bowling ball since it released. Like, absolutely zero. The GB5 and the stealth mode, I hear a lot about. They're awesome. Ethos Solid is just too close to those. So something we kind of predicted when that ball was coming out. It's getting overshadowed by other balls in the same slot. So not the most worth it. Gabriel, what are you drinking tonight? I have a Ultra Strawberry Dreams Monster, the old strawberry one that is now discontinued, which is sad. Very, very sad. Have you tried the Storm Typhoon? I have. It is very, very weak. Much weaker than I expected. But mine is also two-handed from No Thumb Nation. Shout out those guys. Yeah, but it is very weak. Don, I used Black Widow 3.0, Harsh Reality Pearl, and Black Venom this week. Hey, that is a good 1, 2, 3. I do like it overall. Johnny, 16 mile an hour speed, 330 rev rate. Am I balanced or rev dominant? If it's 16 miles an hour at your hands or off your hand, you're pretty balanced. If it's at the pins, you're a little rev dominant. Display, I just saw it in the Discord. You're going to like it. Oh boy. Devin, should I get a Hyperdrive Pearl? Depends what you have, Devin. Let me know what other bowling balls you have, and then we can figure it out. Display, yeah, Strawberry Dreams is discontinued. It was discontinued a couple of months ago. There's still a lot of them out, though. You can still buy a lot. All right. Sergeant Bubbly, I have an IQ AI, Hustle Rip, Rockstar Mantra, EJ Identity, DNA Blaze. Holy cow. The Rip is honestly a pretty decent, can be a weak and sharp ball, but otherwise, I mean, Typhoon might be a good bet. Typhoon might be your best bet because it looks like you have a lot of storm stuff. Jake, where does 13 mile an hour at the pins and 300 revs fit? I think you're a little rev dominant. You'd probably be about 16 off your hands. User, I have a Track Criterion Hybrid, Blue Coral Venom, Thrill Hybrid. What should be next? Ooh, you have a little bit of like the middle grounds for everything. So it depends what you like better. If you like your Criterion better, I'd get like an asymmetrical solid ball, like an Effect Tour, like a Origin EX, get something like that. if you like your Thrill Hybrid better, I'd get like an IQ Tour, an Ion Pro, a Turbo X, a Venom Shock, things like that. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Bart, good morning from the other side of the planet. Good morning, Bart. Nate, love the stream. Thanks, Nate. Here every Wednesday, but I can't catch your live sometimes. Would be having the physics blackout and Jackal make sense? I don't think so. You need to change the surfaces on one of the two of them to be able to make it actually worth it. So I wouldn't do both. I do one or the other. Brian, how is the Storm Nova compared to the Ion Pro? Nova is way earlier and smoother. Jason Reed, Yellow Jacket is not a thing. Yellow Jacket is not banned. Yellow Jacket is good to go. Vatican, how fast is 14.5 at the pins versus off the hand? So what you usually have to do, like getting 14.5 at the pins can be different if you're hooking the whole lane versus if you're playing straight. But usually you add 2 to 4 miles an hour to whatever your speed is at the pins. So if you're playing a lot of hook, you want to add 4 miles an hour. If you're playing straighter, you want to add like 2 miles an hour. So if you're playing straighter, you'd be at 16.5. Let's see. GLaDOS. Thinking about getting an Ion Max. Is it worth it? It depends if you... Yes, it can be if you want a really strong ball. It's going to be very, very strong. It's going to need a lot of oil. But if you want that, yes, it's very good ball. One of the best in the game right now. Conman looking for a strong ASIM for League. Is a Vaporize SE. You can't find an original? They're still out. They should still be available. I think they're on sale too right now. Brunswick, let's check it out. Vaporize SE. Oh, Asylum has one. What is it? HK20. Oh, it's the same thing basically. Yeah, it's pretty much the same ball. So either way, whatever one you want to get, it's gonna work. Whatever one you want to get. All right. Seth, how much do you get from bits? I get one. I think I get like half, 50% or something. So it's not a crazy amount. But I'm going to do a last call for questions right now. Leave any more questions you guys have in the comments. I'll hit as many as I can, and then we'll call it a night in like 10-ish minutes. I want to thank all of you for hopping in so far. Make sure to drop a subscription or follow if you can. Remember, if you haven't, I've seen more and more of them lately, but if you guys want one of the ZVL Bowling Shammies, there we go. Make sure to check it out on DH Lab. You'll be able to grab one. We still have a couple out there, and then we'll be coming out with new colorways soon. I think those guys are very busy over there, though. They've got a lot of good people with them right now. Devin, I have an Equinox, IQ, AI, Purple Hammer, Origin EX. Yeah, no, actually, no. You have the Equinox, so I would avoid the RST. Matthew, what two-handed layout can I put on a clone if I'm rev dominant? I just want to drill the ball for fun. 5 by 3 by 3. Gonna be a good one. 5 by 3 by 3. Joe, to answer what you need a specific ball is always yes. Will this fit your game? True. That is another way to look at it. Ken, how many beers is the right amount on a league night? I'm a lightweight, but I would go. If I get to 4, then it's probably not great. But I'm a lightweight, like I said. Jack, take a shot every time the direct hit gets mentioned. Oh, dude. It's probably at about 30 at this point for today's stream is what I'm guessing. Jake, what is the similarities and differences between the Black Widow and the past one? Which one? Black Widow 3.0 and 2.0? You mean? All the new Widows are just generally stronger and sharper than the old Widows. Dondrick, where can I send my arsenal? So in all of my Rate My Arsenal videos on YouTube, I have a Google form link in the description. Go use that and then put your arsenal in there. There are a lot of them out there right now, so apologies. I was at 550 when I did my video last week. I'm guessing it only increases. Doesn't seem like it decreases very quickly. Bubbly, need a good starter ball and game 3 ball for really high friction. That's always tough without knowing much about your game, but you did put your arsenal, so let me look at that quick. I mean, for that last ball, I think Typhoon or a Hustle M&M is a good play, or you could go Tropical Surge if you want a super burn ball. That first ball, I think that Rockstar or Mantra or the EJ should be a good play. I think any of those will be best. C. Schwartz, what performance shoes do you recommend? I'm a big fan of KR Strikeforce right now. That's what I've been 2 for 2 on their brand, having good shoes. I have the TPC Gladiators right now. Dexter makes fantastic products. Their SST line is always top of the top. Those are my personal 2 favorites. I know Brunswick is making shoes right now, and I haven't heard much about them. And I know 3G has been making shoes for a while, and I don't know much about those. They seem good by any means. And I know Bowler's Mart's version of shoes, the Epics, are coming out as well. There's been a couple reviews of their new ones, but otherwise I haven't heard much about those either. Dexter and KR are kind of the top 2 big dogs in my opinion, though. I think those are number 1 and number 2. Vatican, what skid flip ball would you recommend? Looking for hockey stick. If you want hockey stick right now, Black Widow Mania, Criterion Hybrid, I think RSC Hyperdrive or Ember also fits that camp. David, I think we should have a drinking game for watching Zach's content. Take a shot for every time at the end of the day. That is kind of my, like, that's one of my speech things. Like, everybody has their thing. Everybody has those days. Everybody has their way. No, I messed that up. Sorry, Hannah Montana. No, everybody does have that. Like, everyone is usually, I don't know. Like, there's usually so is a big one. That's one for me is so. But yeah, at the end of the day is a big one for me as well, because that's usually like my ending point when I go on a little bit of a tangent about anything, which is funny. I'm glad you were able to catch on that one. Nice job. Vito, my son is 16 off the hand, 13 at the pins, 386. Oh, definitely rev dominant. You're going to want some weaker equipment. Some weak, smooth stuff will be a little better. Wayne, worst ball of the year, and I cannot say the obvious one. Oh, easy. Snapshot Hybrid. Oh, Snapshot Hybrid is so bad. It is not good. Nah. Snapshot Hybrid should be on that list. What else has been bad? Honestly, Motive stuff has been pretty good this year. Original Snapshot was really bad. Original Crusher, but I think that was last year. That thing was not great. Hey, Z2 Funny, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What else has been bad? Man, Storm has had a couple stinkers. I think Ultimate Wrecker for them was a bit of a stinker. That was unfortunate to see that ball suck. I mean, I shouldn't say suck. That ball was mediocre. If it came out at a different time when you didn't have the High Road 40 and the Typhoon and the Road Warrior, and that's about it. I think if you didn't have those, that ball would be okay, but not worth it. Identity BCP solely because of what was behind it. I think the ball is great. I think the identities are good, but I think the practice that Storm did there was very, very unfortunate. I think those are going to be my worst balls of the year right now. Jack, 17 miles an hour, 420 off the hand. Nice. What layout we thinking on a black hammer? I would go usual 40 by 4 by 40. I think that's good. Too funny. What you got? Should I get an attention star? Depends on what you have. Depends on what your other balls. If you have other asymmetrical pearls, no. If you don't, then get an attention star. Luke, good benchmark in the Storm umbrella. Yes, Rockstar is going to be a great play. Rockstar in phase 2. Jerry, what's going on, man? Jerry, are you bowling the Jiba this weekend? Or are you gone on that one? I didn't look at the squad listing very closely. I looked at it like in between a couple meetings at work quick just to make sure I was signed up, but I didn't look at anybody else. User, Pride Liberty was terrible. Pride Liberty is like, see, some people love that ball. Some people despise it. There's no in between. There is zero in between. Luke, good benchmark. Yeah, we hit that one. Derek, thoughts on the bubblegum vibe? Bubblegum vibe looks kind of good. Looks kind of decent so far. Good week in sharp ball. So it's a vibe. So no pun intended there. Opinions on Gem versus Ion Max, fairly similar. Gem is a little smoother and a little chuggier, but a little better on sport shots in my opinion. Ion Max is really good though. Jerry, I'm bowling the regionals on strengths. Oh, nice, nice. And and Mooney gets married. I didn't even know he was engaged. I don't know Brandon that well, but congratulations to Brandon Mooney, coach of the dual champion UW Whitewater crew, for getting married this weekend. Awesome. Yeah, he is UW Whitewater. Correct opinion is special effects. See, I didn't think the special effect was that bad, but a lot of people hate that ball. It's kind of crazy. I didn't expect that. John, one of the guys I rolled in again last week, shot 300 with a hyperdrive. He went into Primal Rage after that. That's a good ball down. That's a big ball down, but it's a ball down. Carolyn compares Zen versus Ion Pro. Yeah, Zen is going to hook in a similar spot in the lane, but it's also going to be a little quicker. That Ion Pro is going to be a lot smoother. Honestly, Zen might actually will hook a little earlier as well. Be the Fury. Where do you submit an arsenal? You can submit it on any of my YouTube videos where I do a rate my arsenal, and there'll be a link in the description for a Google form. So go check that out. Big Mike, Storm did with the identity like Ubisoft did with its fully priced games by making you pay full price and putting in free-to-play microtransactions. Yeah, unfortunately, the microtransactions were also paid. They pulled more of an EA in that front. They pulled like an NBA 2K where they're like, hey, here you go. Here's some here's a cool game for you for $60. Hey, do you actually want to play that game? Buy these microtransactions for another 100. They're going to make you better quick. And then people do it every single time. And I never understand it. Why do people in NBA 2K spend $200 on coins in the first day of the game? Because they do it every year. You do it the first day that it comes out to max out your My Player to go play in the park. And then the next year, you do the same exact thing. It's insane. Anyways, that's my rant. Ugh. The 2K, yeah, EA is wild. Timbits, when would you consider a bowling ball dead? Rockstar is looking weaker and weaker. So a bowling ball only has a certain amount of games on it, no matter how you take care of it, because as the bowling ball ages, it's still curing. So it's getting harder and harder and harder. And it finally fully hardens after about 2 years. So you add that with all the oil absorption and it's a lose-lose situation. So it takes a couple 100 games, but it does happen. Horst, what's going on? You need help? What do you need help with? Jack, around me, the general consensus is that the special effect is great if you dull it. That makes sense. It does come very shiny. Wayne, special effect was another one I got for 50 and I hated it that I gave it to a kid that was learning. Hey, it's very respectable. Very respectable. And Garrett, doubts need the hammerhead and effect 2 are in the same bag? No, you don't. I would recommend against it. Don, was the whole urethane slow absorption high performance thing just a distraction for spring fins? No, not even close. That is, do not believe anybody that says that. That's a complete lie. Urethane's been a topic that's been researched and discussed for 5 years now. No, it is not at all. No, the urethane discussion has actually gotten really good in the last couple of weeks, or in the last week especially. USB-C has done a better job with communication, which is great. The problem is, I mean, like any community online, the big issue is when you make a change, people are going to be furious at you for like a month, and then it kind of eases off. But no, do not listen to anybody that spouts any misinformation of like USB-C didn't know what they were doing. If you listen to a lot of their videos, see the research report, they put a lot of time and money into the urethane discussion to make sure that they had all their bases covered. So they kind of followed what Gulf did with the belly putter in their research and all that jazz. So I think they did well as a guy who has seen stuff like that. Let's see. What am I missing? Yeah. Martin, new releases from Hammer Storm for January. Level sort of way. No, we won't see anything from them until there's an actual full decision. It wouldn't surprise me if one of those companies tried squeezing in one more urethane ball before the end of the year, because any urethane ball can, I mean, like purple hammers can still be made after January of 26. You just cannot create a brand new core cover of a urethane that's soft. They have to be hard after that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they come out with like a Purple Hammer 2 in December or something. It would make sense. Horace, my 2023 phase 2 isn't holding up. I was thinking of getting another one. Want to try something different. Rockstar is a great option. Rockstar is a really good option. Marquez bought some SST8s 2 days ago. Just see Bowler Smart Epic shoes and now questioning. Oh, don't question. The SST8s are awesome. Do not question that choice. The Epics haven't been used enough to have a lot of that reputation yet, unfortunately, where the SST8s have been around for so long. I think in like 2 months, we can say if the Epics were good or not, but they're just so new. It's always hard with a new product because if you're one of the ones who buy it early, you are guinea pigging the process to a certain degree. Oh, I didn't read anything. It's just an observation. So many people threatening to abandon bowling. People threatened to abandon bowling if the urethane thing happened. They threatened to abandon bowling when the weight hole was banned. It's kind of a running thing at this point. It's hard to we should take it seriously when people do that. And I think a lot of people do, but I think if you look at the Venn diagram, the people who say they're going to quit from if urethane gets banned and if string pins gets banned and if weight holes got banned are very similar. So it's the internet. People get upset. There's no reason to quit bowling for it. Like if your center gets strings, it's probably because the center's not doing well, which is unfortunate, but that's how it is. Let's see. Horst, is a Rockstar like the same? Yeah, it's pretty much the same as a phase 2, just a slightly different motion. I see a little later, a little sharper. Luke, I have a gem at the top of my bag, but I have a DNA solid. Should I polish it? Yeah, I'd polish the DNA then. It's going to be a weaker ball in general. Jack's slow oil number is like 90 minutes or something. Wonder how long until they get a urethane with like a 95-min absorption rate. Well, yeah. I could see that. They're gonna I already know Brunswick is in the lab trying to come out with that 95-minute one. I know it. Yeah. You know Storm is as well. They all are because right now the writing on the wall is within 2 years urethane will probably get banned fully in a lot of levels. I think legal will still be good, but every other level I think it'll be gone. And then it's going to be a race for the ball companies of who can make a urethane like ball first. So it's kind of like an arms race there, which is kind of cool. It's a cool thing to watch. Wayne, you should beat 220 average bowler to the punch and bowl a game with a golf ball. I would get a 0. I don't think a golf ball can knock over a 2.5-pound pin, honestly. I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough people with that like could actually do that and that would allow that. Because the ball would actually ricochet and probably come back at me. That's a tough piece. Luke, would it clash with a gold label at that third spot? The Primal Ghost? No, the Primal Ghost and that will not be anywhere similar. Not even close. All right, but I think that is all we are going to have today. Try it. Ugh, I might get hurt on that. But we are going to call it on that. So TikTok, we are going to say goodbye to you guys first. Huge thank you, TikTok, for hanging out and watching all day today. We are not having a stream next week. I unfortunately have a work event I have to go to. So I will not be live next week. There is no stream on September 17th, which is really unfortunate. We've had a 4-month stretch of streams of nonstop Wednesday streams. We had 6 months before nationals of nonstop streams. So it's very unfortunate, but we're going to have no stream next Wednesday. We will be back on the 24th. So TikTok, huge thank you guys for hanging in. We might have a stream either this weekend or next weekend to kind of like just play some other stuff. But otherwise, TikTok, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. All right, then we got YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Let's see. Singapore Federated Association banned it. Wow, that's crazy. C. Schwartz, thank you. Absolutely, C. Schwartz. Jack, good stream. Thank you, Jack. Don, Torpedo Direct is on the ban list. So not really. Yeah, I mean, the direct hit is funny. It's an accidental on the list. It's an oopsie. I mean, they made a ball that doesn't absorb oil with a big core. So it is technically fits USB-C's description. So it's kind of funny that Radical's upset about it, but like, you made a ball that fits the description, guys. Sorry. David, the smoking ban closed way more bowling alleys than a ban on urethane could ever dream of. Oh, 100%. Imagine an alcohol ban. Oh, if there was ever an alcohol ban in the US, you would see a lot of bad things happen. 100%. 100%. Billy, yesterday bowled on 2019 nationwide PWBA Greater Open. Nice. Yeah, that's a tough pattern, definitely. Sweet direct hit dreams. Thanks, Wayne. Garrett, do these tour-like ASIMs take the place of medium strong? Yeah, I think they do. They can. Don, it's okay. We had a bonus stream. You did have a bonus stream last week, which is awesome. But we are going to call it on that for everybody over here. Huge thank you to you guys. Again, no stream next week. We'll be live again September 24th with a recap of everything going on. But otherwise, thank you guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.